Welcome back to Tianjin, China. Welcome back to Tianjin, China on this glorious Saturday for the finals of the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. We're at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin, and excited to be welcoming you with us. This live broadcast of the England versus Hong Kong China final of this 24-goal tournament. I'm joined in the studio by Ian McDooey for some extra polo commentary.
Yes, good afternoon, Tori. It's an interesting day, I think, horse-wise, because it's quite humid. It's probably the highest humidity we've had during this tournament, and so the horses will tend to tire a bit. So it will be just interesting to see how hard these players go early. They're coming in off narrow wins, so they know that they're going to be very, very even on paper. What the tactics will be interesting, and just horsepower I think is going to have quite an influence here today.
And I think given the conditions that we were informed that both teams would have actually 7 reserve horses for this tournament final, which is more than they've had during the first 2 days of this tournament.
Yes, because the horses, of course, that were allocated originally to the Argentinian and USA teams that were here earlier on. Were here playing yesterday in the preliminary final. They've now not needed, so they've been able. These two teams have been able to select an extra 7 horses each. So they've got plenty of horsepower, but just be saying that conditions may have an effect on how they go. What happens? We play 6 chukkers here at a 24-goal level, which is a high standard worldwide, and we play over 6 chukkers which go for 7.5 minutes, and the players will change horses halfway through each chukker. So you'll see them, the umpires will stop the game and they'll go and play the horses. So instead of the horses having to play a full 7.5 minutes, they'll only be required to play between 3.5 and 4 minutes.
And for our home viewers, we'd like to not only welcome you, but thank you. This is the largest broadcast audience of any polo tournament in the world. We've been told, going out live on Now Sports, as well on several other television networks and digital platforms around the globe.
Yeah, it's lovely to see polo getting the exposure that's being provided here by the Metropolitan Polo Club. It's a great facility. There are over 250 horses stabled here. It's only been going for about 3 years, and a lot of effort's gone in to provide high-class fields and beautiful facilities and a wonderful clubhouse. So it's quite a place for polo, and of course those facilities being recognised by the Federation Internationale de Polo, endorsing this as a world tournament, a world recognised tournament, the 24-goal Super Nations Cup.
You can see that we are now joined on the field by the 2 teams to feature in this tournament final. There you have a shot of the English team, and we will be, before we introduce the players from the teams, we'll be leading off with the national anthems from the respective countries.
Firstly, that of England.
Welcoming our English team, final of the Super Nations Cup, followed by the anthem for Hong Kong, China.
Well, stirring music to get the final of the Super Nations Cup underway for 2014. So we'll shortly introduce them. The two gentlemen in the striped shirts are our umpires. And here comes the English team now. And the first one out is the number 1, and that's Henry Fisher. The number 2 is Mark Tomlinson. Mark Tomlinson on 7 goals. And this is his brother Luke. The number 3 for England, he is also on 7 goals. And at the back, the number 4 for England is Nacho Gonzalez, playing off 6 goals. So a total of 24. The handicaps are issued. The higher handicap, the better the player.
And playing number 1 in the forward position for the home team, Dirk Gould from Australia. Again, a largely expatriate team. Number 2, Joao, Ganon, 7 goals. Number 3, well known on the polo circuit, JP Clarkin from New Zealand, and 8 goals. Nice handicap player in this final. Last but certainly not least, he's Director of Stable Operations here at the Metropolitan Polo Club and representing Hong Kong, China, John Fisher. Again, be facing his brother on the other side of the field.
Yes, Henry Fisher playing for England in the 1 position, and John Fisher in the 4 position so they'll actually be marking one another. And we have 2 sets of brothers here. Of course, the Tomlinson brothers playing for England. So the ball will be thrown in by the chairman of the Federation International de Polo, Mr. Richard Khalil. Play starts with the players lining up in the centre, and the ball is thrown in along the ground. The rules are fairly simple. They're there to ensure safety. There the ball goes in play and it comes through the ruck, and first one to it is going to be Joao Ganon. And Ganon plays a nice lofted backhand. He'll drop it down though in front of Nacho Gonzalez, who'll bring the ball around the corner now for England. Now he'll try and get his forward players running up front, but both the Tomlinsons sitting back, just making sure he keeps possession of the ball. He's got it now, gets it around John-Paul Clarkin, lofts it nicely. It'll drop down almost on to about the 40-yard line. Coming through there is Mark Tomlinson. Now Luke Tomlinson it is, I beg your pardon, because he's put a goal through. And England very quickly out of the box and scoring from the first real play of the game. And a nice even goal. Here you see on the replay now, Luke Tomlinson coming through and just chopping the ball into the goal. That's a very nice goal. He got plenty of cover to come in, but he still had to play it on the near side, the left-hand side, which is just a little more difficult than playing. All polo players must play right-handed, so the right-hand side of the horse is the place where they'll mostly get the length in their hits and the accuracy. Anyway, they're chopping at it in the centre of the field now, and finally John Fisher, but the umpires have blown the whistle. Now, I said the rules were mainly to ensure safety, and Torrey, we were talking earlier on in the tournament about the severity of penalties.
Indeed, indeed. So, well, the more severe the potential risk, the greater the penalty, I've been informed.
Yeah, so in this case, it's happened on the halfway where they throw it in. It's just a penalty that's occurred in slow play, not a particularly dangerous one, but technically somebody has ridden into the right of way. So it's hit on the spot rather than taking it down the field, and it's taken here by John-Paul Clarkin for Hong Kong, China. And he drives it down through the 60-yard line, turned around there on the near side.
But again,
by Mark Tomlinson, and the umpire's blowing the whistle now. The player travelling down the line of the ball has a right of way on the right-hand side. You see there? Now Tomlinson comes across in front of him, plays the near side backhand. That's into his right of way, across the horse's legs. That's a penalty, and so Hong Kong, China will get a chance to equalise here. They'll get an open goal penalty from the 30-yard line.
An opportunity for Hong Kong, China, the home team, to equalize in this first chucko. And it looks like Joao Ganon will be taking this 30-yarder.
So he counters in slowly. Just make sure the horse is going steadily. The horse is dancing on him a bit, but he'll still put it through the middle. So there's the equaliser. It's 1 goal all here in the final of the Super Nations Cup. And this fabulous facility for polo. You see there in the VIP box.
We've got Dr. Richard Khalil and Harvey Lee from Golden Properties, again, the ambitious group that has built this wonderful polo facility.
Ball's in play. Daniel Badu puts it in. First one to it there is Henry Fisher. Rides his brother John off, and now it's backed in by John Paul Clarkin. Dirk Gould looking for the ball, but it's going to be Nacho Gonzalez who gets to it first. Then it's Luke Tomlinson trying to push the ball forward. John Fisher plays the backhand shot. Gonzalez has it covered. He'll just dribble around on the near side, and the umpires have blown the whistle again. Well, you can see there he played it on the left-hand side of his horse, and in doing so pushed across into the right-hand play. You'll see coming through here, the ball is backed by John Fisher. Nacho goes in and taps the ball across in front of Dirk Gould, and so that's coming into his right of way. A penalty is awarded. Now this is, because that was at right angles and potentially that could have been quite a nasty collision, the ball has been taken right down the field and to the 60-yard line.
So potentially of lesser ability players to actually T-bone.
Yes, that's what you don't want to hear or be part of. So it looks like Ganon is going to take the penalty hits for the Hong Kong China team. He did a very good job here in the semi-final. So 60 yards, the defending team can come out through the goal. So he takes it down. It's gone wide to the left. So
England to possession back to England for a tap in, far side of the field.
1 goal all here in the final for 2014. Now out to the sideline it goes. And Mark Tomlinson tries to drive the ball off the boards, can't get to it, so Henry Fisher has to turn up quickly, but Dirk, Ganon's there first. Ganon takes the ball down towards the goal. He's pushed it out to the right-hand side. He's got a big angled shot from here, won't get to it. Dirk Gould can't come in there, so it's left there for Luke Tomlinson to put the ball out towards the sideline. Now it's going to be Nacho Gonzalez. Picks it up. Tomlinson following through, but Joao Ganon comes in. But again, you see coming in from an angle, the umpires have blown the whistle. So they're policing this right of way very, very strongly. They have done all this tournament because this ground has had a bit of polo on it. The ball's bouncing a bit, so players, they tend to run off the line. So we'll take a break while they change ponies, and Tori, it's a bit of sort of cat and mouse at the moment.
It is indeed. I mean, at this halfway mark, obviously the players will change ponies. Neither team, I think, well, equally balanced. Obviously 24-goal polo, the highest level of polo here in Asia. And neither team, I think, just feeling each other out, really.
Yeah. Nobody's sort of really going for the big hits just yet. They're just seeing who's going to be close marking. Not just here on the replay there, you saw the one where Mark Tomlinson came through on and took it on the near side. And that was the penalty that gave Hong Kong its first.
Very early in this game, obviously, but both teams had very tight semi-final victories. So I would expect that we would be seeing the same in this final.
Yes, hard to know what sort of tactics anybody would. I mean, they've both seen one another play. They play together a lot. Obviously, when you've got two brothers on two different sides, they know one another pretty well. So, but they've seen what's playing, and the England side took a while to get back against the USA. They were trailing by about 4 or 5 goals at one stage, and then finally, in a golden goal, 7th chukker, ran out the winners. It was much the same with the Hong Kong China side. They had a very, very tight game against Argentina and scored their winning goal only in the last 12 seconds of the 6th chukker. So the centre is going to be important. Really, it was probably Dirk Gould did a lot of damage early against Argentina because he's very quick to get away with the ball. I think England's probably read that and have shut him down fairly successfully in this first chukker because against Argentina he scored twice in the first. So it will be interesting to see whether John Paul Clarkin as captain tries to run the ball more through himself and Joao Ganon, which they did at the end. Tomlinson brothers very, very experienced in the centre, and they've got a very powerful back in Nacho Gonzalez. He's a 6-goaler. He's played an enormous amount of polo, represented England on, well, on and off now for about 10 years. So he'll take the penalty hit to start the second part of this chukker with 4 minutes left to go. And it's a penalty 5B from centre field. So he just brings the ball up over the 60-yard line. Now he waited for a man to come to Dirk Gould. He's there, but the other members of the Hong Kong team are sitting nice and deep, and John Paul Clarkin will get the ball, but he doesn't keep possession of it. And driving through there is Tomlinson, but he's hooked out of the play. So coming up is Henry Fisher. Henry Fisher plays a backhand shot. Well, doesn't matter where it went because the whistle has blown.
Again, not clear who committed the...
No, well, look, you see John Paul Clarkin's pony kicked the ball forward there. He's turned around. Tomlinson came in and hit the ball. John Fisher played a backhand now, and coming across and playing on the stick side of the horse. When you're on the left side, that plays across the front of the horse. And so Hong Kong with a big let off there. You see, you must keep that right of way and not play into the right of way or into the legs of the horse. So
Hong Kong certainly saved by the whistle on that occasion.
John Fisher to take the hit on the spot. Again, that wasn't considered to be a terribly dangerous foul. They're both travelling in the same direction. So John Fisher just taps the ball forward. Clever play by the number 4, because he's drawn a couple of the English players to him. That means if anybody in a red shirt can break away, it's fairly open up front, and there they go. John Paul Clarkin hits it up to Dirk Gould. Gould plays the ball down the boards. Umpires blow the whistle. So they're really policing this first chukker, asking the players to honour the line of the ball, and that's probably going to be a good thing for us as spectators, Tori, because they'll have to keep galloping.
Indeed, and again, we've heard the whistle go more in this first chukker than we heard in a number of the other matches.
So you just saw Dirk Gould coming through there, and he, in order to get to that ball, he had to ride around and into the line of play, and there was an English player coming up that line. It was running parallel to the board, so they will get a hit on the spot.
Again, for our viewers, in simplified terms, just imagine that you were driving a car, have to stay in your lane, not crossing into the lane of one of the other drivers.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it exists for about a metre on the right-hand side of the horse in the same direction, parallel to the direction the ball is travelling. So Nacho Gonzalez takes one tap hit, then hits a big one. Brings it down over the halfway line. John Fisher's there, nice bump and a good return backhand. And Dirk Gould's running down to goal. In comes Joao Ganon, and he's passed it beautifully to John Paul Clarkin. Clarkin just settling the pony down, drives it in towards goal. Gould's there to try and help it on its way, doesn't need to. That one's through, and great camera work there from our crew.
John Paul also very familiar with the English side, having actually represented England in the last Chester.
Yes. Well, you see here, this is John Paul's shot across to goal, and Dirk Gould was there to try and block it or tap it if it was going wide, but he didn't have to worry about that. Good play too. Ganon hitting up, Gould going right up into the optimist position, the number 1 in the front of goal. So a nice goal for the Hong Kong side to put them into the lead by 2-1. And from the throw-in in the centre field, you will note that we change ends after each goal is scored. That's so that if we do have a day when there's any wind or drizzling rain, horses don't like running into the wind or the rain, so it means that if there are any, and sometimes the ground will be better at one end than another because of the pressure of play, so it means no team is advantaged by running a full chukker.
After that whistle, John Fisher immediately moved to the spot. I guess he knew exactly what the call was going to be, because he's led his team down to yet another penalty attempt for Hong Kong China.
Yeah. See, in the lineup, the line of the ball is actually the line that the umpire throws. So quite often you'll see a player thinks he's got room to move, but if the umpires feel he's come in a bit too close to the other players, actually the players who can turn up on that line to 180 degrees have more right to the ball than somebody coming at an angle.
Attempt yet again, Joao Paul Ganon from 60 yards out.
Again, the defending side's able to come out to the 30-yard line, but two of them will stay in the goal mouth to try and block it if it goes high but doesn't get over the line. He's hit it beautifully high, and it goes through the middle. So the Hong Kong China team running out to 3. Well, wait a minute, there's been... the umpire may have called that wide, even though the goal umpire, who's not an official in terms of he's just there to signal whether he thinks the ball's gone through. The umpire stays in the back and watch that. He said no, it wasn't, it was wide. So no score to Hong Kong. China, it's just 2-1. And so Luke Tomlinson brings the ball up to the halfway line for England. And he's trying to find a bit of length on his shots now to open it up and get them down to that attacking half. Helped on its way by Henry Fisher. Coming through is John Paul Clarkin. His backhand takes it out to the boards. And John Fisher's there to pick it up. He just doesn't quite get onto it. So Ganon comes in, brings the ball around. Umpires blow the whistle. So a penalty has occurred right on the boards.
And very tight play on the boards there.
Well, here we are, replay of this hit. You see it went high and just to the right. The umpire signalled gone right. So even though the goal umpire felt it was through. So the hit on the spot has been awarded to England. So the first chance they've had in this chukker to get down on the attack, it's been a game of penalties pretty much. Players sorting one another out, playing it very close.
They're also beautifully managed, the players. They're all such even skill throughout the teams.
Hong Kong China just a nose ahead here, 2-1. The first chukker, very early in this final.
Yes, like a lot of finals, this is going to be a bit of a dogfight, I think. It's not going to be a high-scoring game, but one very nice goal off the field. Hong Kong China then scoring a penalty. So the ball is going to be hit here by Nacho Gonzalez. Now see players sorting one another out. In he goes. See they're marking one another very closely down the front there. Everywhere there's a red shirt, there's a white one, and Nacho Gonzalez's shot goes well to the left of centre. And Hong Kong China breathe a sigh of relief, and they'll hit in from the back line.
So again, very important in polo, man-to-man coverage, or man and horse to man and horse coverage.
Yes, now there's a little replay of what went on there, and you see Mark Tomlinson, John Fisher plays that backhand. Well, we're in play anyway, so.
It's like they're bringing the ball back to the
ball back. So while we had the replay, it looks like there's been another penalty.
Looks like they're bringing that now not to the center of the field, but to the 60-yard mark.
So this is a real loss of territory to England. There must have been...
gone from possession in their half to a penalty chance for Hong Kong China from the 60-yard mark.
They'd hit it over the back line. Nacho Gonzalez's penalty hit went over the back line. England would have been hoping to trap that ball when it came in. Instead, they've infringed and it's come right back down. So there may have been an element of chatter involved. And the umpires have said, we'll march you down the field a bit. So here comes Joao Ganon. And once again, he's put it out to the left from his point of view. And so this time it's England who breathed the sigh of relief.
You can see one of the umpires, Stevie Evans, now positioning behind the goal just to ensure the right call on each of those shots, big shots.
So Nacho Gonzalez says, we're pretty lucky to be here. I better do something with this ball. So he brings it up into centre field. He's looking for Luke Tomlinson, but he actually finds Henry Fisher, but Fisher's horse isn't helping him at all. And in they go now, a backhand there by Dirk Gould, gets trapped. Turned around finally by John Paul Clarkin. Out of the ruck comes Joao Ganon, but Nacho Gonzalez, very strong player, and I think that has been hit down there by John Fisher, picked up by Joao Ganon. He'll put the ball through, and so as the bell rang for the end of the second chukker, Hong Kong China pushes out to a 2-goal lead. They lead by 3 goals to 1.
And Nacho Gonzalez looks like he was appealing for a whistle there, even after that goal had been struck.
Well, he got hooked, but it's quite illegal to hook the player as long as you don't do it above the shoulder.
So that we'll take a short break and return in just a moment with Hong Kong China leading 3-1 against England. Welcome back to the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. We're in the finals of the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. Home team Hong Kong China leading England by a score of 3-1 at this stage. I'm joined in the box with Ian McDewey for some expert polo commentary. We've seen a scrappy match thus far, Ian.
Yes, it's been very much. Both these teams are watching one another very carefully, not wanting to let any of their big hitters in the centre get away. So both the backs are playing up into the game. Anyway, we're back in play now, and it's Luke Tomlinson who brings the ball around on the near side. John-Paul Clarkin has it covered for Hong Kong China. His backhand not getting a lot of distance. Will it get up to Dirk Gould? Yes, it will. He'll play it on the near side, and he'll bring it up once again, but he's just hooked out of the play, and it's backed out there by Mark Tomlinson now. Luke Tomlinson bringing up. Here comes Mark once again, and he'll put it down on the 60-yard line. John-Paul Clarkin back in defence, gets a backhand, not a lot of length, but it's good enough for John Fisher to take it a bit further. Can't get the next shot in. Backed out there by Joao Ganon. Now Gould, not been able to get up as front as close as he was in the earlier game. Nacho Gonzalez is marking him hard, but that's been an opportunity now for John-Paul Clarkin to bring the ball up through the field. He'll cut the ball back in towards goal here, looking dangerous, running beautifully for him. That's an amazing goal from John-Paul Clarkin. Way out to the left-hand side, and those goals would have looked about a metre wide from where he was.
Tremendous cut on the ball.
Clean through the middle.
That is the skill of an 8-goal polo player.
What's this? Look how far out he was. He was nearly in the grandstand, and he just looked up, saw the goal, put his head down, and perfectly timed. It's just got the right amount of legs to get it through. So we'll go back to centre and change where as we do after each chukker. And once again, you see a player diving in to the line out. And
immediately there was a whistle from Stevie Evans, referee, and it looks like it's been awarded to England. Again, not a severe penalty, as it just marking it on the spot.
Yeah, well, normally in that play when the ball's thrown in, nobody's travelling at speed then, so it's usually just a hit on the spot, as I said, unless somebody gives the umpire a bit of chat, then they may move them down to the next hitting point. But on this case, it's just on the halfway line, effectively a penalty 5B, but a hit on the spot. So Nacho Gonzalez, who's normally a very, very reliable penalty hitter, but he missed one long range one earlier on. So just watch him come in now, and he lets go, and it's gone long and strong and bouncing out towards the right of the posts. Will it get to the back line first? Yes, it will. So he's getting plenty of length on these penalties, but just not quite the accuracy he would like.
Possession goes back to Hong Kong China. Just to bring that ball back in to resume play. Hong Kong China leading 4-1 in this second chukker.
John Fisher from the back for Hong Kong China taps the ball in and then plays a lovely strong shot. It's going to run out to the right-hand side, backed in by Nacho Gonzalez. Gonzalez shot coming up now for Mark Tomlinson to get out of the boards and then come in again. Luke Tomlinson helps it on his way, but it gets trapped there and backed by John Fisher. He puts it out over the sideline, so we will see the ball thrown into the lineup. Umpire Daniel Badu puts the ball in. John Fisher off the end of the line out now, pushes it forward, but it's back there by Henry Fisher. But then trapped at the back by Joao Ganon. Ganon's ball hits a divot and bounces, and it's turned there by Nacho Gonzalez. In comes Mark Tomlinson. Stick in the air just to say, umpire, I think I've got this line. Plays the backhand now. Nacho Gonzalez has read that nicely. He'll drive the ball down into the scoring zone, but the umpires have an opinion about that. So the backhand shot from Tomlinson. There's Nacho's got something to say to the umpires as well.
And John Fisher appealing for the penalty there, although he was off the ball, congratulating his horse, obviously, for playing Gonzalez into that foul. Horses do make up 80% of the game.
So the hit on the spot goes to Hong Kong China, taken by John Paul Clarkin. Joao Ganon comes back to cover for him. He's going to try and... Now, here's good team play. He leaves the ball for Ganon. Ganon will take it up past Henry Fisher. Now driving it up, looking for John Paul Clarkin, but Luke Tomlinson, Mark Tomlinson was got a stick in the way, but turned there by Joao Ganon, and it's gone through the goal.
It just looks like wide to the left.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
They're both wide to the left.
I thought he held the paddle up, but he was just waving it away. So
looks like the umpires will blow the whistle at the halfway point through the second chukker. The players again will change ponies halfway through each chukker of the sixth chukker final.
Yeah, so Hong Kong China in a pretty strong position here. The score of 4-1 in the second chukker, with England have had a number of penalty chances, but just that one really good run off the field when Tomlinson scored early, and apart from that, they haven't had a lot of luck in when the balls come out of the ruck. It's either been a penalty. You see just that shot, that last shot there, going to the left-hand side of the post. So
Hong Kong China has had 2 attempts on goal as well from the penalty mark that went wide. So England fortunate to only be down by 3 goals at this stage.
Yes, I guess they're ahead on misses both ways. So just to see whether England might try and change their tactics a little bit and bring it up the side rather than running it up the middle, which is what they've tended to do. This is John Fisher, who went out a long way to try and get that ball. And this was the one where Mark Tomlinson came out over the boards, and Luke Tomlinson in there. His pony just kicking it forward then. Now here was the backhand of... Oh no, that's the one Nacho Gonzalez didn't get onto, so you can see how tight this play is. If we look at these replays going through, nearly every time anybody's getting a hit at the ball, there are defending players close by.
You mentioned that England likes to play in a very close confines. I don't know if that's going to work to their advantage during this final.
Well, they tend to make sure they are right in the game in the first few chukkers, or the first couple of chukkers, so that trying to win possession. But John Paul Clarkin, of course, as you said, he's actually played for England. He's played for the rest of the world, played for the Commonwealth against England quite a lot. These players all play in England together anyway, so he knows the way these Tomlinson boys play the game, and I think he might have them sorted out a bit. He's sitting very, very deep today. So Nacho Gonzalez hits in from the back line to get the chukker underway again, and he gets a nice strong drive, but it's gone a bit too far because it's over the boards on the halfway line.
Some of our distinguished guests that are here with us for the final of this 24-goal Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup.
So back in play. Luke Tomlinson now with the ball for England. Now he gets a bit of length on it, drives it down there, and coming out of the ruck is his brother Mark, and he'll just bring the ball up to the goal. This is the sort of goal that these two boys are able to score if they get the opportunity. So you saw Luke Tomlinson way out on the boards, belts the ball up in front of goal. Mark Tomlinson's read that beautifully. He's got out 3 or 4 lengths clear. Here, there's the shot from Luke, and Mark Tomlinson knew exactly where that was going. He's round first. He's onto the line. There you see he's got that right away on the right-hand side. Nobody can come in there and annoy him for the ball, and he's got plenty of time to run it through the goal. So that's what I was talking about before, Tori, about these two boys. They're very good toughing it out in the middle and getting possession. So we're back in play now. And a little bit of tennis going on in the centre.
Little juggling act. Again, a whistle blown. Could that have been dangerous play? The mallet up in the air there.
Well, I guess you're not looking for who's coming behind when you're looking in the sky.
I think we saw something similar from one of our Argentinian players. We actually headed the ball during one of our semi-finals. Again, unlike football, it's illegal to use any other part of the body other than the mallet.
So I think what the umpire said there, that even though it was up in the air, that Luke Tomlinson was still riding along the line of the ball, and somebody's come in and given him a bump when he's actually making a shot, even though he was trying to hit it out of the sky. And so that's still, you're not allowed to ride into a player when he's in the actual act of taking the shot. So you can be beside him if you've been there all the way, but you can't come from somewhere else. So even though that was up in the air, it's still going to be an open goal penalty to England. So here's a chance for them to get back to a much more respectable position. It's 4-2, and they're having the best of this latter part of the second chukker. Mark Tomlinson going back quite deep to play this one. See the it's on the 40-yard line, open goal, but the players can come out across the goal from behind the line. But Joao Ganon did that, but he didn't need to. He looked in the air, he saw it was going wide. So
several missed penalties here early on in this game. I think 2 from both sides, both Hong Kong, China, and 2 from England.
Yes, the pressure of finals can get to all professional athletes, can't it? A little bit of nerves, perhaps. Fellas you'd expect to hit these every day. So John Fisher drives in from the back line, takes it out to the sideline, trying to keep it away from the traffic. It's backed in by Mark Tomlinson, doesn't get a lot of distance on it, so John Paul Clarkin will pick the ball up now. And as I said, he's sitting quite deep, but this time he's come up into the game. Now, Mark Tomlinson takes him off the ball and will get the backhand shot. Doesn't get a lot of distance on it, but in comes Henry Fisher, plays it on the near side. And the umpire's not happy.
Again, Tomlinson appealing for a call, but
I think that was actually Henry Fisher who got fouled, saying, "What have I done, sir?" It wasn't me.
Penalty awarded to Hong Kong, China. Take possession in the England half of the field.
So here you'll see he's coming up here.
Tomlinson taking JP Clarkin out of the play.
Yeah, but that's not what the penalty was for. It was this one here. Anyway, we're back in play now. The penalty's been taken by Hong Kong, China. Just taken forward now, hit on the spot. So John Paul Clarkin can dribble this one. He'll try and bring it up closer to goal where he's got a big clean hit at it. It's taken there by Dirk Gould, and it's gone down to the wide right-hand side of the post and over the back line.
Again, good defence from England.
Yes, their defence is very, very good. They showed that against Argentina. The Argentines who love to run the ball and demonstrate their stick work, and they made it very hard for them. So they've seemed to have pretty much got Hong Kong's measure in this, I said, latter part of this second chukker. Dirk Gould's in there to play a near side backhand off the hit in. So whistle's blown again. So, well, I don't think it has because they're still playing. I thought I heard a whistle, so maybe it's somebody in the crowd. But coming through from the back now, Nacho Gonzalez. He's got the ball on the boards, but it's going to be first to it, John Paul Clarkin. And now Dirk Gould coming up. He's hard ridden there by Mark Tomlinson, who hooks him out of the play, then chops a little shot, but it's going to be it's going to be Joao Ganon coming through. Dirk Gould's there, can't get the near side shot. Following through is John Fisher. His shot's heading up in front of goal. It's going to be cleared now by, and away goes Tomlinson. Now England's got the ball, and here they go on the attack now. and just driving the ball up under the pony's neck. Mark Tomlinson now is just going to take a little angled shot from here, drives it in towards goal. Back there as Dirk Gould doesn't come to him. It doesn't get to the back line either, so John Paul Clarkin has to play the saving shot. Drives it out towards the sideline. Gould's on the end of this one. We've got a little bit of time left, but there's a whistle there because I think it's hit the boards.
That'll end
That's the
second chucker, actually. Exciting play at the end of that chucker.
We started to get a bit of galloping going then.
So that will end the second chucker with the score 4-2 for Hong Kong, China. We're going to take a short break and return to Tianjin, China. And welcome back to the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. We're here for the final of the 24-goal Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. England facing Hong Kong, China in this final, with Hong Kong, China leading 4-2 at the end of 2 chukkers, 6-chukker match. Joined in the commentary booth by Ian McDewitt. Ian, we've seen we did see some open play at the end of that second chukker.
Yeah, as soon as the bell rang, they started to open it up. I think they thought there's only 30 seconds to go. And England would really like to get a couple of goals and get back to an even situation here, because Hong Kong, China proved that they're very, very strong finishers, so they don't want to be behind. So it's a backhand by Nacho Gonzalez as the game comes to start for the third chukker. Goes off the boards. Back there is Mark Tomlinson. Now his backhand shot has come down to the back, and that means John Paul Clarkin, who I said has been sitting fairly deep, playing a bit of a defensive role here, allowing this man, Joao Ganon, to come up into the game, and he's done it beautifully. He breaks out of the ruck, he runs the ball down in front of goal, he lofts it, and that's going to be 5 to Hong Kong, China.
He made no doubt about that shot. It's beautiful watching these players have the ability to cut the ball.
Yeah, well,
the goalpost there.
I guess when you get to anything above 3 or 4 goals, or anything above 3 goals, you should be able to do that. And Joao Ganon, of course, is on 7, so you expect them to have those sort of skills. But a very good start for Hong Kong, China in the third chukker. And again, that combination of John Paul Clarkin and Joao Ganon proving very strong in the centre. John Fisher's been good at the back too. Here he goes again. Now this time he's found his number 1, Dirk Gould, and Gould will come in and just tap the ball up towards the boards. He looked to clean it up from here. So he's got plenty of white shirts coming in, and umpire Daniel Baду taking no back chat from anybody.
Luke Tomlinson taking exception to John Fisher there.
And they were just waiting to see what Dirk Gould would do, and John Fisher thought, I'll go in and help him, but it's not a rugby scrum. So
there's the replay, and you can see Tomlinson actually, I think, having a quiet word with Fisher.
Anyway, the umpires were right on the spot, and they awarded the free hit to England. And it will be Nacho Gonzalez taking it here. Now he brings it, no he doesn't, he leaves it there for Luke Tomlinson to bring the ball up. Ganon's going to stay with him, so Tomlinson belts the ball up the centre of the field. Who's going to be the first one to it there? John Paul Clarkin's backhand doesn't get a lot of length. Dirk Gould's does though. He knocks it off the centre line. John Fisher coming through. He's hard ridden, but he still gets his shot in. Brings it out towards the boards now. Here goes Hong Kong China on the attack. In comes John Paul Clarkin. Leaves it there for John Fisher. Fisher, lovely lofted shot. Clarkin and Tomlinson. Clarkin, Tomlinson, Clarkin, Tomlinson, both right. Oh, well, Clarkin gets a little tap shot. Running it into goal now is Joao Ganon. Beautifully cleared there by Mark Tomlinson. Luke Tomlinson's there, so is John Fisher. John Fisher's backhand is a goal. And he's not pleased with himself at all. Fine play. We get to see this again for a second time. Running it in towards goal there. That was a Joao Ganon shot. Fisher turning up there. Near side backhand. That's the right play in that position. And he tucks the ball around and into goal. So Hong Kong China starting to take a bit of charge of this game now. 6 goals to 2 the score.
And it looks like we've got an immediate penalty being awarded to China.
Yep. So out of that ruck, out of the line out.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that play. I'm just wondering if, again, there was a bit of back chat with the
Look, I
referees.
think, yeah, that's the second time we've seen this in this game, that very quickly out of the line out even, before the ball's gone anywhere from the line out, the umpires have said we're going to march it down for an open goal penalty. So I think you're spot on there, Dory. I think there is a bit of back chat to the ref, to the umpires, and of course that's not allowed. So Joao Ganon, Pony just trots in, he puts it through, out they go now to 7 goals to 6.
Again, England needs to be very, very careful here. That it's a tense situation, but at the same time, to be penalised just for back chatting, could cost them dearly.
Yep, it's particularly when you're behind like this. I mean, it's you really want to try and have the referees on your side when you're trying to, you know, take advantage of every play and get the attacking.
Now we've got a short delay. Looks like Dirk Gould has a problem with his pony, whether it's lost a shoe or. But he's walking that pony off, and one of the
here we see. This was the play where the goal was scored. I don't know if we had a camera on the. And this was the Tomlinson tennis shot. And you see there, and Fisher's hooked him well above the shoulder. So you're allowed to hook the other player's stick, but it's got to be below his shoulder. You can't try. I don't think John Fisher was really trying to hook him there. I think he was trying to hit the ball just like Tomlinson was. But in effect, that's what the end result was. He hooked his stick. So here's John Paul Clarkin again in a very tight play. Mark Tomlinson. And that's the goal from Joao Ganon. And he watched that one with a big smile on his face.
So Dirk Gould on a fresh set of legs. Yeah, third chukker. 4:30 into this third chukker. We'll be playing 6 chukkers today in this final.
So the ball is thrown in on the halfway mark, and it comes out on the Hong Kong-China side, picked up there by Luke Tomlinson, brings it down into the right-hand corner. He'll get the next shot too. No, he doesn't, because Joao Ganon's there to just hook him out of the play. So it's Dirk Gould coming around with it now on, diving in there. Well, umpire certainly, the whistle has blown for that one. John Fisher just saying, we'll go back down there, sir, is that okay?
Oh, he's halfway down there already. Looks like it was just being given on the spot.
Yeah,
so.
I think he was expecting it to go to the 60, but it was pretty much at right angles, but there was a bit of distance between the players, so.
But unlike football, there is no goalkeeper in reality or offside, so John Fisher could have remained down there and been released by John Paul.
John Paul to take the penalty, and he has released. He's put the wood on it. He's brought it down to the halfway line. Good, strong shot. Turned around there by Luke Tomlinson, but it's been hit back to him with a bit of interest, so he'll have to go in and try and get it again. And he and Joao Ganon going for the ball. And Luke says, that was mine.
We'll take this opportunity. We will resume play with a penalty, but they'll take the opportunity to change ponies now.
So just in the replay there, we've got Tomlinson and Ganon going for the ball, and Tomlinson says he's got in the way, sir. But we'll wait and see what the umpires say, because the players have left the field too. Here we go again. Tomlinson leaning out a long way, and in comes, yeah, he's come in there and ridden his horse into him as he was in the process of playing a shot. So I think that's probably the way that the penalty will go when they come back with new horses.
Indeed, a foul against Joao Ganon. Again, players changing horses here. Halfway through this third chukker.
This exciting game here. You can see the difficulty the ball's got. It's got to get through all those legs as well as down the field. John Fisher doing a shot right into his pony's foot there. You see what happens. You play it backwards and ends up in front of you. And then you have to rush the next one.
And there are some
great facilities here.
They are indeed. Indeed. World-class facilities here at the Metropolitan Polo Club. It was a vision of their chairman, Mr. Pan Sutong, to bring world-class polo to China, and I think he's done just that.
Certainly has, because the great thing is if you wanted to, you could come over here and buy a villa or an apartment and watch every game of polo from your own living room.
Indeed, indeed. Those days of living on a golf course, well, now you can live on the edge of a polo field.
So teeing it up now, the hit going to England. Players back on fresh horses. Luke Tomlinson to just make sure the ball's not sitting in a divot. Up on top of the ground. But I think maybe Nacho Gonzalez will be the man who'll take the penalty. He usually takes the long penalty shots for England. Dirk Gould there on screen. He was very powerful. Got away with it a bit early in the first game they had, but they've had him very closely marked. Nacho Gonzalez has been sitting on him all day, not giving him much of a chance to get a run. But he won't mind that. They're 5 goals in front. It doesn't matter whether he scores the goals or one of his teammates do. It's the team that wins. Nacho Gonzalez to take the penalty. Just tapping along. He'll try and draw Dirk Gould. That's what he's aiming to do, but Dirk Gould will not get into that. He'll go with him now. So Gonzalez has gone to give a lead to Tomlinson, and it's Mark Tomlinson, but his shot is met there by John Paul Clarkin. A backhand shot picked up by Joao Ganon. Got caught up in the pony's feet. He lost it for a little while there, then saw it up in front, so had to gallop hard for it. Once again, hits a pony's foot. Coming in there now is Luke Tomlinson, a backhand shot up to his brother Mark, but it's going to be John Paul Clarkin who gets to the ball first, and he'll knock it out over the sideline. And
see a throw-in leading down towards the Kong China goal mouth.
So Nacho Gonzalez goes for the big hit out of the ruck, but can't take the big swing there. So finally Ganon gets the ball, gets a clearing shot, not a lot of length on it. So Mark Tomlinson comes, Luke Tomlinson it is, comes down, plays the ball, but John Fisher's now got it on the near side. He'll play it forward once again, down over the 60-yard line. Luke Tomlinson backhands it, and it's Nacho Gonzalez goes to help it on its way, but John Fisher comes in. Nacho knew what he was doing, and
that will certainly be a foul against John Fisher.
Yeah, he's not that happy about it. He thinks he probably had room to come in there, but you'll just see that's the backhand from Tomlinson, turning up on the line, and Fisher comes in. You see he's at an angle to the line the ball was travelling. He's cutting across, and so even though Nacho was out of the way by then, he's still coming into that right away, and the
looked like Gonzalez certainly had the momentum coming down.
He was the first one to turn up on that line, yeah.
Well, John, you could see John turning his horse, but not quick enough.
Anyways, Nacho's got the hit on the spot, so he'll once again taps it. He wants to keep Dirk Gould with him. He doesn't want him out the front there if they lose possession. So he's left the ball sitting there now. He'll take Dirk Gould with him, and Luke Tomlinson hits a lovely strong shot. But Dirk Gould's got this one covered. He's called off it by John Fisher, though, who's got a bit of room to move, and he takes it out to the sideline, and John Paul Clarkin turns up beautifully on that one. In comes Luke Tomlinson, near side backhand. Up to Gonzalez, doesn't get to him, but Tomlinson comes in and plays it himself again. Now it's down in front of goal, rolls out to the right, no score. It remains 7 goals to 2. Hong Kong China in the lead. We're heading up towards the halfway mark. A couple of minutes to go in the chukker. From the back line, John Fisher. So he comes across the goal with it. Now let's go. And he's having a pretty good game here, John Fisher. He's got his brother, Marky's brother, and he's pretty well had him shut down. See a player coming around the corner there. The whistle's blowing. And,
again, yeah, Hong Kong possession. Looks like they're going to mark that one. Oh, it doesn't look like it was too severe a penalty. Maybe bringing it back to the center of the field.
Here you see that it came in, and you see Luke Tomlinson going around, taking 2 taps at the ball across the line, and you saw 2 players coming up the line there. The 2 Fishers were coming through on the old line, so riding across the front of them is dangerous play, and the ball's taken back to the halfway, or taken up to the halfway for Hong Kong China now to have another penalty shot. John Paul Clarkin, and he gets it long and strong. It'll get to the 30-yard line before anyone gets to it. That's Luke Tomlinson, who plays the backhand around now, picked up there by Nacho Gonzalez. Gonzalez going under the neck. Gets plenty of length on the ball. Next one to it, I think, is going to be John Fisher. Yes, it is, and Heel's backhand will be helped on its way there by Joao Ganon. And here's Dirk Gould for the first time for a while in the Chaka. We've seen him in the game. We've seen him out front now. He's a very good number 1. He lofts the ball. He drops it down, but it's gone wide. But that's the first real scoring chance he's had, and we saw him doing that pretty much right through the game against Argentina. So
he was indeed
here
a strong
it comes again. And you see he's got 2 or 3 lengths clear hits, almost on the back line. Difficult angled shot from there, and he was going at speed, so he had to loft it. He couldn't just dribble it, and pushing it out from his point of view to the right of the post. So once again, Nacho Gonzalez gets a bit of hit in practice. He hits Dirk Gould's pony. It bounces down. He's got time to come around though, and Dirk Gould now, he's left Gould down the back, it's the front for Hong Kong China, and taking it through himself. So Dirk Gould not able to go with him this time. And here comes Luke Tomlinson. Mark Tomlinson is actually who's picked the ball up, but it's sitting there now. Following through is Gonzalez. Gonzalez tries to push the ball into centre field. In comes Henry Fisher. Fisher brings it up. Sitting there. Luke Tomlinson trying to push the ball through. Now, it's finally taken there by Mark Tomlinson, I think it was, and he's gone wide. So still no score for England. And
it looks like we're going to finish the chukker there and take a short break. Return for the 3rd chukker of this Fortune Heights.
A goal awarded to them, and then they get a free hit. So it's effectively 2 goals. The penalty number 2 is taken from the 30-yard line. You'll see a white line. We'll mention it when they take the penalty hit there across the field. That's an open goal. The other side is not allowed to come out through the goals, and they've got to be behind the line. So as long as you hit it straight, it's a certain goal. Penalty 3 is from the 40-yard line. On that case, the players have to start behind the line, but then they can come across the line when the ball is struck and try and get into the goal mouth to block the ball. The penalty 4 is from 60 yards. In that case, the defending team can stand in front of the goal. So you've got 16 horses' legs and 4 sticks to get the ball through. Penalty 5 is a hit on the spot on the field where the infringement occurred. And a penalty 5B is a penalty from the halfway line in centre field. So it generally occurs if a defending team is fouled. The umpires will take them up to the halfway line. That gives them a chance to hit the ball into the attacking half and totally changes the complexion of the game. When the attacking team is in their attacking half and they're awarded a penalty, it will then go to the penalty 4-3-2. That's a 60, 40, 30. And that's probably enough figures to confuse people.
Fantastic. If you're just joining us, we're at the final of the 24-goal Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. This is the highest goal polo in Asia. 24 goals. We're seeing the national teams from these respective countries. Hong Kong, China, however, being an expatriate team, as well. Golden Properties leads the charge in the development of polo here for that next players that are born and bred in China. But at the present time, the home team, Hong Kong China, is leading England 7-2. Looks like we've got all 8 players back on the field, and Hong Kong China will resume play with a tap-in from the...
So here they go to start the game now. And John Fisher just does do a tap in and then runs the ball up to about the 60-yard line. John Paul Clarkin's there, beautifully timed, picks up the pass, looking for Dirk. Gould doesn't get to him. He's got Luke Tomlinson bottled up though, so Mark has to come in and play the backhand shot. John Paul Clarkin runs down and plays the ball forward and then hits a backhand. Bit of traffic in the way there though, bounces off a pony's foot and gives Mark Tomlinson the chance to play the ball under the pony's neck. Whistle has blown.
Again, John Fisher starting to trot down to the spot on the Hong Kong side. To know if maybe he has insight as a home field advantage. They are indeed bringing the ball back to the center of the field. Badu pictured there, a very experienced referee or umpire in this instance. And it was indeed a penalty awarded to Hong Kong China.
Yes, and that's what I was saying about the penalty 5B earlier. This is exactly what it is. It comes to halfway. You see Hong Kong China were on defensive. England was actually attacking, but in going for the ball, Mark Tomlinson came across the line and so it's a free hit taken by John Paul Clarkin. It's come up to Ganon, but it's driven down there by John Fisher, but it's gone to the left of the post. So no score results. It remains 7 goals to 2 in favour of Hong Kong China.
We're at the halfway mark.
Now the umpires blow for time off because John Fisher was off his horse, and so but now they've stopped blowing it on again. So Nacho Gonzalez from the back line brings it up to the 30. Now leans out, tries to cut the ball under the neck. It goes out towards the boards. In there is Joao, Ganon, and Ganon brings the ball around for Dirk Gould. And well, Mark Tomlinson went in there to, Luke Tomlinson went in there to hook him out of it, and then around the corner came John Fisher, and the umpires blew the whistle.
And there we have our repeats there.
Yeah, and it's turned around by Ganon, and Dirk Gould was in there. John Fisher's got, no, that's, the old line came off the horse, so the player turning up in the white shirt was going down the old line. John Fisher coming in to play that, coming across at right angle. So free hit on the spot goes to England. And Nacho Gonzalez, the Tomlinson brothers there, just seeing the ball is teed up. Now Luke is going to come up and try and find a man, or is he going to sit back there with Gonzalez? Just having a bit of a conversation with the umpire.
There's still a bit of discussion. Nacho Gonzalez, you can see, well, the England team.
No, I think probably John Paul Clarkin has called for time off to adjust some gear. I think he's got something broken there. His saddle may be slipping, or his stirrups broken.
And it looks like he has some broken tack there. Well, you can see Stevie Evans there.
Bringing, that's a horseshoe he's found on the field, but John Paul going off.
Again, at the halfway mark, we've yet to see a goal in this early stage of the second half. And again, a little repeat of the scrappy play we saw in the first chukker. Hong Kong China, though, leading in this contest 7-2, although we did see England come back from 5 goals down against the United States in the semi-finals.
Yeah, it said it's, they've done it before, so but I think the John Paul Clarkin Joao Ganon combination is a different, they're long hitters, and it's a little bit different. Here we see a repeat of this play, I think, where the penalty occurred. Luke Tomlinson there, coming in, Mark Tomlinson up the front. Oh no, this was the one in the air, so we've gone right back into that second chucker where the big high hook from John Fisher, unintentional. I think he was just trying to get that ball out of the air.
The aerial hook.
Yep. Here's Mark Tomlinson driving the ball forward. Back live.
See some of our distinguished guests.
Nacho Gonzalez taps the ball first and then plays a strong shot. And on the end of that one is Luke Tomlinson. He has to spin the pony around. And Dirk Gould was very quick onto that. He brought his pony around and followed it down. Now, Tomlinson hadn't actually been able to hit the ball, so the old line still applies.
A little bit of frustration on the face of Luke Tomlinson there.
Yeah, he just didn't have the horse under him to get him to the ball there. So, and Dirk Gould saw that he was having trouble. He knew that he was pretty much running the old line, so he put the spurs in and went for it, and claiming the line. So, but the ball going back. To the on the spot, taken in by John Paul Clark. He's got it up in front of goal. Here's Dirk Gould, and he pushes. He plays a snooker shot with it. I said he's very, very accurate around the goals. Give him a chance to hit it at the goal close up, and he's very, very accurate. So here it goes. John Paul Clarkin played the ball around the ruck. Then he saw a bit of clear space up in front, bounced under a couple of ponies' feet. In goes Dirk Gould. Doesn't try and swing at the ball, just puts his stick down there. So he's got it hard, firm against the ball. Hard to hook him out of the way then. And so out to 8 goals to 2 goes the score. So what you and I both anticipate as a very close game is turning out to be dominated a little. Once again, possession to Hong Kong, China. This time, Joao Ganon, backhand shot, straight down the centre. John Fisher going to it, but first to it'll be Nacho Gonzalez. Gonzalez cuts the ball off the line, picked up there by Luke Tomlinson. Luke Tomlinson brings it back out of harm's way, onto the halfway line, turned around by John Paul Clark and bounces off a pony. Now it's Mark Tomlinson, now it's Dirk Gould. Ball's very frightened, everybody's trying to hit it.
So it looks like they tapped that over the sideboard.
4 minutes left in the chucker, and we'll probably see a change of ponies fairly soon. But in the meantime, Nacho Gonzalez trying to push it down to the scoring end for England. He gets a big bump from Dirk Gould and leaves it there now for John Fisher to clean the ball up. In comes Mark Tomlinson. Tomlinson trying to bring the ball around the corner. Nacho Gonzalez says, you get that man, I'll get the ball. It was John Paul Clarkin was the man, and he's got to get out of the way. That gives Nacho the chance to take the ball down to about the 40-yard line. Now it's turned in there by Dirk Gould, helped on its way by JP Clarkin. Clarkin's ball out towards the sideline, bounces, picked up by Gould on the near side. Now he's got the offside shot, doesn't get onto it, turned around by Tomlinson. Or was it Henry Fisher? Henry Fisher, I think it was. But anyway, it's been met there and turned around with a bit of interest. Running down to about the 30-yard line. Gould and Luke Tomlinson going hard for the ball. Luke Tomlinson gets a stick to it. In comes Henry Fisher. Brother John is there. Henry Fisher cleans the ball away. And he runs it almost up to the halfway line. Chopped in there by JP Clark. And Mark Tomlinson takes the ball out towards the sideline. Bringing the ball around, John Fisher. John Fisher gets the better of the bump and plays the ball under the pony's neck. But the umpire may say that the reason we have 2 umpires on the field is they basically divide the field up into 2 diagonal halves so they can see the play from different angles. And if they're not quite sure, they'll have a conference, but in that case the whistle went, both umpires happy. But they'll go back and have a chat now as the players ride off.
And now players will take this opportunity at the halfway mark in the 4th chukker to change ponies. I think you'll see the physical nature. I know we were speaking about Dirk Gould, and you can really see what a physical player he is.
Here we go now. The Nacho Gonzalez is there. He's got Gould hard up against him, and Gould literally forces him to come around the corner, and then he pinches the ball.
And the players it is allowed to use your body and go head to head.
Oh yeah, definitely pushing with the weight of the horse and the weight of the body. So then it brought another England player into that defensive game. It's shutting down their attack opportunities, and see, there's Gould there. So Gonzalez
was the goal.
Yep,
Gould.
the goal from Dirk Gould, which you see both Tomlinson and Gonzalez trying to defend there. And that just brings a man out of the attack. Gould just happy to be up front and wait for the ball to come to him. He's not going to go back into the game too much and try and find it. And in the meantime, that's keeping Nacho Gonzalez pretty occupied, even though I think that might have been the plan for England.
Doesn't look like there was a penalty to end that chop. Well, at that.
No, I think I saw the two umpires talking. I think they might have decided that that no foul occurred. John Fisher certainly didn't think he'd fouled there, so they've thrown it in, and it's backhand there by Joao. Ganon takes it down onto the boards. Luke Tomlinson turns it around with a bit of interest too, but look, John Paul Clarkin, this man's been back here shutting this back door and does it again beautifully. Lofted backhand shot. Big bump from Henry Fisher on Joao Ganon. Coming through is Mark Tomlinson, but then Joao Ganon gets possession, hits Mark Tomlinson's pony. In comes Dirk Gould. He'll play the ball on the near side. Now he's away again, and Luke Tomlinson has to go back and give him the bump. Turns the backhand. He's taken it out of the scoring zone, but again, Clarkin's back there. Hard to get around him. John Fisher helps it on its way really nicely. Puts it up there. Jeff Fisher back in defence. He just beats Ganon to the ball. Dirk Gould plays the ball up to the goal, but I think it's gone to the right. Well, there's been a whistle before that, so.
Again, when my partner here, Ian, is making reference to a bump, for those that are not familiar with polo, it's more like a shove. It's far more physical than a bump, particularly when you're on horseback.
So, looks like Hong Kong China in trying to dig that ball out and get it down to the goal. Have come across the line. So it's going to be a hit by England on the spot. Again, that's one of those penalties occurs as players are milling around the ball, not at speed and not particularly dangerous, but it certainly gives England possession and an opportunity to hit this ball away from the goal-scoring zone. Nacho Gonzalez lofts the ball beautifully. That's what he wanted to do, was get it up near the halfway if he could, and Mark Tomlinson's in there to keep the ball rolling in the right direction for England. Gets his next shot in too, brings it down well over the halfway now, up to the 60-yard line. Dirk Gould back there waiting for him to come through, and in goes Ganon. No, and well, just not going England's way. The
ball just to the right.
Yeah, and he didn't really get a clean shot at it, so he had to rush the shot, and here it goes. Near side shot there, and then in came Mark Tomlinson, but in came Luke Tomlinson, I'm sorry, but Mark Tomlinson was up there in front and it actually hit his pony before it got to the goal. I don't think it was going through anyway, but John Fisher says, I don't care, I've got the ball, I'm taking it up the field now, and I'll pass it up to John Paul Clarkin, and John Paul Clarkin will pass it to Dirk Gould, and Dirk Gould will put it high in the air and drop it down on about the 60-yard line. Goes to his next shot, doesn't quite get onto it. Backed in there by Mark Tomlinson. Jeff, Henry Fisher's in there. They're milling around the ball once again. This is where the penalties are sometimes occurring. But finally, it's cleaned up by Luke Tomlinson, who brings the ball in towards centre field. Now he goes for the next shot from here, and he drives it right up through. Back in defence is John Fisher for Hong Kong China, but it's trapped beautifully by Mark Tomlinson, and he just tried to dribble the ball through now, turned around. Ganon gets the ball out towards the sideline, so Hong Kong China able to prevent another attack getting down to goal, but the whistle blows. So
it's like a foul off the ball there.
Yeah. Whether we can get a replay of any of that. So there's the view across the field. spectators' point of view.
And we've seen our largest attendance here for the final.
Now here we are. This is Ganon. He plays the backhand. Goes out towards the boards.
And at that point, the whistle went.
The whistle's gone. They've all looked over their shoulder, so we can't see what the reason was. You mentioned, Corey, that it might have been a hit, a incident that occurred off the field, or it may have been broken gear or something, because I notice now that Luke Tomlinson has come back on the field, so maybe I think they've blown time off because it was a dangerous situation. If it's broken gear, it could affect a horse or player, so I think that's probably what happened. And nobody fell off, but anyway, the ball's been thrown in and it's gone over the sideline now, so we'll see the ball thrown in from the sideline this time.
That's the dying seconds of the fourth chukker, so it looks like the bell has gone to end that chukker, where the players will now ride off to change ponies now, take a short 3-minute break and start the fifth chukker, the fifth of 6 here in the final of the 24-goal Super Nations Cup. Hong Kong, China leading England 8-2. We're at the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup at the Golden Metropolitan Polo Club in TNG. Welcome back to the Golden Metropolitan Polo Club, Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. Hong Kong, China leading England 8-2 at the start of the fifth chukker.
And play commences with a throw in from the sideline, and it comes out on the Hong Kong side, and it's tucked out there by Mark Tomlinson, and he tries to get the mid-air shot in, can't quite get it. In comes Joao Ganon, and he plays a near side shot, and coming down the line was Henry Fisher, and the whistle blows. So you'll just see here now. This was Ganon, and he goes for the near side shot. Henry Fisher was following through down the old line. That's classic hitting into the right away, and a free hit will go to England. That's the way they wanted to start this chukker, certainly. The chance here, big chance for them to score. Mark Tomlinson is out on the left-hand side. Luke Tomlinson teeing it up.
The English team with just 2 chukkers remaining really in this contest. The English team needs to start to assert itself.
Oh, they do. They need 3 goals pretty much before they can let England let Hong Kong, China get another one. 6 goals with 2 chukkers to go is a big difference.
Particularly with John Paul Clarkin.
the way this Hong Kong China team is playing, the combination they've got. So, but as I said, this is a very experienced combination. They've played a lot of polo together. Their last 2 games together have been victories, so they're in winning form. And they did manage to come back in the last 2 chukkers against USA, so it's not unprecedented. So Luke Tomlinson now coming in, just quietly walking his horse in, doesn't want to mess this one up, and he's done it beautifully. Just gets the right length, gets a bit of lift on it, bounces it through, and so that will make them feel a little better. It's been hard to get goals for them in this game, and they have pushed it out to 4 now, so they've got well, the best part of 2 chukkers, certainly a chukker and 3/4.
And the ideal start for England.
Yep. So hopefully we're going to see that sort of a game we saw in the last 2. And here we go. Mark Tomlinson once again. Look, it is. Brings the ball out. And picked up by Mark this time. He takes it across the field. It'll bounce off the boards. John Paul Clarkin's in there. It's gone over. So it'll be a throw in from the sideline once again. England into the attacking half, so as it goes through the line out, Ganon gets to it. Now John Fisher gets a little bit of a tap shot on it, turns it around again. It's taken back there now, turning hard for the ball there is Mark Tomlinson, but first one out there is John Paul Clarkin, and he's electing to go to the boards. He's going to play it wide, it looks like. Tomlinson comes through. He thinks he had the right to hit at that ball. Referees have blown the whistle. Do they think he did and he got hooked out of it illegally, or are they saying he turned into the line?
And again, I think he needs to be careful with his feedback to the referees to avoid an unnecessary penalty.
Well, I think he was just saying, I think that's a bit rough, sir. But so John Paul he's going up the centre. Joao Ganon will take the little tap shot. And I wonder whether he's got a bit of a play worked out with John Paul here. Well, Ganon's made a bit of a meal of that. It's turned around there by Henry Fisher. Here goes England on the attack. John Paul saw it and came back around the corner. Now, Joao Ganon brings the ball up along the boards. Dirk Gould's there, but Nacho Gonzalez very, very solid at the back. Turns the backhand around. Ganon tries to take it forward. It's picked up there by John Fisher. Fisher's a little pass shot to JP Clarkin. Clarkin down over the 40-yard line. Clarkin being sandwiched there almost by the land. In comes Dirk Gould, and I said, put him in front of goal with the ball. And he's very, very determined. So
that's a second consecutive goal from Dirk Gould.
Yeah, and he's been getting a bit of a run here. See, there's John Paul Clarkin. Now you see he gets taken off the ball by Nacho Gonzalez. He thought he had a foul there. That was almost what we call a sandwich. But Dirk Gould coming in, saw the ball there, just got half a length clear. That allowed him to get the stick down on the near side and tap it through. So Hong Kong trying to push that out to 6 goals, the difference once again. So as early as this time, maybe starting to run out for England. Backhand there by John Paul Clarkin. Joao Ganon comes up with the ball under the pony's neck, runs it in to the right-hand corner. Big angled shot from here. He gets it though. That's gone wide to the right. England back on the defence and will hit in from the back line. Nacho Gonzalez has had plenty of practice. This umpire's just blowing time off. I think John Paul Clarkin.
Time off to change ponies now.
Yeah.
Halfway, just a little bit more than halfway of our 5th chukker, actually 4 minutes remaining. Hong Kong maintaining their 6-goal lead here, 9-3.
So this was that play just earlier on the chukker where Dirk Gould coming through had to cut the backhand around. That got them out of a fair bit of trouble. Now here was John Paul Clarkin playing this approach shot. That one rolled right down onto the boards. Joao Ganon's shot went through the traffic. Luke Tomlinson, oh well, again we're going back to another aerial shot. Joao Ganon just trying to get the brakes on the pony, but doesn't. Yes, he does, but by the time he gets down there, it's the ball's bouncing all over the place, so the pony kicks it away on a new line. And that's where I think it was Tomlinson said, or it might have been Henry Fisher saying, you know, that ball's gone across the line, sir, but it was actually off a pony's foot.
Well, in those slow-mo shots, you get a good view of the flexibility of the mallet as well. Native canes, so those are flexible and they do bend. Again, you can see Mark Tomlinson having a word with one of our umpires, Steve Evans, as we resume play with, it's like England possession.
Yes, England will hit him from the back line. The shot from Joao Ganon going well out.
We're at the 4-minute mark of the 5th chukker, just 11 minutes remaining in this contest. England really needs to find an answer to the Hong Kong-China offense at this stage.
So nicely driven in. Up the centre of the field it goes, and beautifully picked up there by Mark Tomlinson. But back there in defence again is that man, John Paul Clarkin, and he hits the ball up for Ganon, but Nacho Gonzalez has got in there with the backhand shot. John Fisher plays it backwards. So we're having a bit of a tennis game here, backhand to backhand. Now, Luke Tomlinson brings the ball across the field. Joao Ganon gets a stick to the ball but can't do much with it, so Luke Tomlinson dives in and keeps possession. And he leaves it there now for Nacho Gonzalez to come through from the back. Joao Ganon gets the near side backhand shot. John Paul Clarkin dives out, brings the ball forward, and just can't quite get the next shot in, but John Fisher following through can. He's put it high in the air. Dirk Gould being hard ridden there by Mark Tomlinson. In comes John Paul Clarkin. Umpires are watching and they've blown the whistle.
England quick to get back on defense there. They can't really afford to go down another goal.
No, they really need, with 3 minutes to go, they've got to score a couple of goals here, or it's going to just be too hard to play catch up that far behind.
So the call went to their advantage this time. Again, England maintaining possession. We haven't seen the ball on the Hong Kong half of the field yet.
So Luke Tomlinson hits it up. Mark Tomlinson on the end of the pass. Here's good play from the Tomlinson brothers. He's dropped that down right in the scoring zone. John Paul Clarkin, gee, gets some speed out of his horses from behind, but Tomlinson gets his pony in the way. Mark Tomlinson it is, running it into goal, and that'll be good luck for England there, because that ball bounced and it could have just bounced back over his stick. So good play by Mark Tomlinson too, because you'll see here John Paul Clarkin comes in, plays the backhand. Tomlinson saw that, got his pony in the way. Now what's this ball just coming in here? It starts to bubble and bounce a little bit, so he just plays it nice. And look at the bounce there, and he still gets it as it bounces a couple of inches above the ground. So good steady play by Mark Tomlinson to make sure he got that one through. So we're back to 5 goals the difference now. 2 minutes for England to score a couple of more goals in this, and they're back in the game for the 6th. So down goes Henry Fisher to the ball now. Cut shot from there. He's hooked out of it though by Joao Ganon and taken away by Dirk Gould. Gould plays the ball down into the corner. And I think they may be saying it's gone over the back line from a defending player's shot. And they've blown the whistle, so that's what's happened. This is a penalty 6. We only got to 5B before. Penalty 6 occurs when a defending player hits the ball over the line. Now, unlike soccer, where you award a corner to the corner kick to the attacking side, we awarded a hit from the 60-yard line opposite the point it had crossed the back line.
And that is awarded even if that is unintentional?
Yeah, sure. It's you know, you've got to be careful if you're defending that you keep the ball in play. I'm just wondering here, Dirk Gould's worm going up and saying, so that's a bit further along than where it was when it went over the back line, because it was out in the corner.
Luke Tomlinson galloping off to change ponies, maybe having a problem with either tack or that pony.
But the ball has been brought in. It's only probably 10 metres to the left of the centre line. And, well, Nacho Gonzalez not going to take the penalty this time. It looks like it's going to be Mark Tomlinson. Or is he just now? Here's the play. Will this one bring us down to the corner? No, that was earlier on near the boards. So we've got the penalty shot being taken now. And in comes Mark Tomlinson. Swings the stick over, drives the ball down the centre. Oh, it's been blocked there though, and it's taken away by Joao Ganon, and Ganon's got him out of a heap of trouble. And England, as I said, just can't seem to get the luck running their way. Ganon following through there is John Paul Clarkin. Clarkin's shot up there to Nacho Gonzalez, turns the ball around. Luke Tomlinson has to drag the pony around, and a couple of red shirts sitting nice and deep. First one to it is John Fisher. Fisher plays the ball up over the halfway line. Nacho's had to sit deep once again. In comes Dirk Gould to make sure he keeps it, and Dirk Gould finds the ball sitting up in front of him. Can't get the bouncing ball though. It's backed out there by Mark Tomlinson. Luke Tomlinson looking to play the ball under the pony's neck, get out of harm's way here, and out he goes to the sideline. Just settling it down now. He wants to get his forward players up there. Nacho's gone to the front. Mark staying back to cover for him. He's got the ball now. Luke trying to take a man with him. He's got John Fisher there. So Mark Tomlinson now just dribbling the ball forward. He's unmarked at this stage, but he hasn't got a lot of time to be wasting here, and John Paul Clarkin has covered his shot, hit it up to Dirk Gould. Gould tucks the ball under the pony's neck. Now going back there is Luke Tomlinson. Luke plays the ball up to Mark. Mark Tomlinson goes around the corner with it. Now, is he in the clear? No, he's not. It's Ganon. Turns the ball. Gould. But sitting deep now is Luke, and Luke Tomlinson turns the ball around under the pony's feet. Here comes Henry Fisher. Takes the ball out towards the sideline. Bounces it off the boards. But there's another red shirt there in defence, and it's that man, JP Clarkin, who pushes the ball forward now, plays the backhand shot. He's put it out over the sideline. He won't mind about that. There's 6 goals, or 5 goals in front, 9 goals to 4. And so
that took us to the end of the
whistle,
5th chukker. So Hong Kong maintaining possession and holding a 5-goal lead here in the final of the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. We'll take a short break and return for the final.
So the ball's thrown in from the sideline to start the 6th chukker. The indications are it will be the last one too, and quickly we hear a whistle coming out of that lineup. This has happened a number of times here, and particularly England on the attack this time, so
they're moving towards the spot there.
Luke Tomlinson knew he had the line there, and very keen to get down and take. It looks like it's going to be a 40-yard penalty.
And if you're just joining us, we're at the 6th and final chukker of the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. Hong Kong, China, the home team, leading England 9-4 in this final.
So there you see Luke Tomlinson just going back now. He's going to focus on getting this goal through, because really, if they don't get this penalty, Tori, I think time really is pretty much run out for them. I mean, I've seen teams score 5 goals in a chukker, but this is a very strong Hong Kong China team. You're not going to run around them that easily. So in he goes, and he puts it through. So it's now 9 goals to 5, and
so they put 1 back on the board, but
put
we
1
need
back
to
on
see
the board.
some quick goals out of the throw-in here.
Psychologically, that can be important too. You know, you get to the stage where you're missing penalties, or the ball's not bouncing your way, it just doesn't seem to go. You're trying your heart out, and then all of a sudden, out of the scrum, you get a penalty, you put it through. You know you can do it, and that sometimes that 10% extra confidence just all you need. But gee, they need some confidence to stop this attack. There goes Joao Ganon once again, drives the ball down into the danger zone. Turned around there by Luke Tomlinson. Nacho Gonzalez up there on the end of it. Coming through is Mark. Mark Tomlinson tries to clean it up in a bit of traffic there. John Fisher's backhand shot is on the sideline. Coming through now, Luke Tomlinson drives the ball down right through the ruck. Red shirt's back there in defence. John Fisher is the man with the backhand. Out now to Luke once again. He just spins the stick over it. Well, again we hear the whistle.
Again, not
Sure
clear.
what happened there. It's a ball's been put on the 60-yard line, so obviously England coming down the line. Let's just see what happened here. John Fisher played that backhand. Couldn't see anything wrong with that. In comes Luke Tomlinson. He brings the ball around, and well, Mark Tomlinson had turned up extremely quickly and onto that line that his brother had given him, and the player coming in the red shirt to play the near side shot rode straight across that right away. So even though they're distance-wise it might have appeared safe, good play by Mark Tomlinson to see that line and spin his pony around and to be moving up that line when the ball was hit.
A 60-yarder awarded to England. Hong Kong, China obviously able to defend against this penalty shot. There in the center of our screen, Mr. Pan Sutong, the visionary behind Fortune Heights and the Metropolitan Polo Club.
So, Luke Tomlinson, he's just hit a penalty. He nearly hit another one when he got that free hit from a forced ball by the defence, and it was just trapped in the goal mouth. Now his choices here are to hit it along the ground, hard along the ground, which is more accurate, or to put it in the air and try and get it over the heads of the defending players. Not much of a breeze up there, so it should run pretty straight. But you are inclined, if you hit it that way, you've got to hit under the ball to get it high, and you often put a little bit of side spin on it, and it goes off course. But what the way he's going to go, he just trajects it nicely, but it's been trapped. It's been trapped, but Dirk Gould takes it away now, and he starts to get some motor out of the pony. Luke Tomlinson comes in to take him off the ball, chops the ball under the pony's feet. Brother Mark is there to bring the ball off the boards. John Fisher can't come in there. Oh, Mark Tomlinson, lovely approach shot. It comes down on the near side there for Henry Fisher, and it's, well, I think Joao Ganon got a stick to the ball, but it still goes through the goal. Or did it?
So was that a white? I thought he might have cleared it off the goal line, but...
Well, it ended up behind the line, so it's a question. I thought it... Well, no, they've called it a foul. They've called it a foul. They've said that coming in there to take that ball off the line. Now, just wondering in that situation if that ball was going to go through the goal.
Well, that certainly played into the hands of Hong Kong China there.
Yeah, surprising though that they've taken it back to the 60. Where's the Reaper? Here we go. Now, coming in here, and that's... Well, Ganon, what's he done?
Well,
Can't see the ball there. So
pushed it off the line.
So he may have saved the goal, but then a foul occurred afterwards with the player coming through, I think. Anyway, it's gone right back to the 60. When I say right back, it's still quite hittable from there, but will Luke Tomlinson elect to go high this time, or will he do the low trajectory he got onto the last ball? He's gone reasonably high. He's got, oh, and it's trapped. It's going wide, so clever play there by Henry Fisher. He stops the ball, puts it on the ground, plays the backhand in. In comes Mark Tomlinson, sitting up in front of goal. In comes Luke Tomlinson. He gets a bang there from Joao Ganon, and he plays the ball forward now. And here's Dirk Gould out the front. Denks takes the ball down into the right-hand corner. He's not going to make any silly moves into the centre because he can see that Henry Fisher's over there, so he'll try and bring it into goal from that. It's a cracking goal from Dirk Gould. Oh, as I said, if this boy runs away with the ball... Oh, no, it's John Paul, I'm sorry. It's, yeah.
Again, a tremendous goal for the 8-goaler. And really, that would take some air out of the... air out of the English team. There's the repeat.
Apologies, but we're right down in the far corner, so that's the whole length of the field away from me. So my apologies, John Paul. But
that's a massive hit.
I'm sure if Dirk could do that, he'd be happy to. But anyway, John Paul Clarkin's done it again, and so he pushes them out to double figures now. Now it's Joao Ganon, and he just goes off a pony's foot, so in comes Mark Tomlinson now, stolen back by John Fisher. Fisher takes the ball down to the 50-yard line. Now he's got Dirk Gould up in front, but he's on his own, so he'll just bring the ball up himself, try and open up the goals a little bit from there. Back comes Henry Fisher to mark his brother, and he's put it out to the right. So the umpires blow the whistle. I think they've called it halfway through the chucker change ponies.
And you can see the smile on John Fisher's face. He's having a bit of fun there with a 5-goal cushion in this final.
Yeah.
And we'll take the players are taking the opportunity, the halfway mark of this 6th chucker, to change ponies, where whilst we take the camera around the grounds, you can see some of the younger aspiring polo players on the wooden horse.
And here we see Mark Tomlinson, and then Henry Fisher coming through. Dirk Gould diving in and driving the ball forward. closeness of play here. The number of times we've seen that, typically with pretty much all the players gathered in a centre bunch. Mark Tomlinson cuts the ball. That was just earlier in this chukker where John Fisher cleaned the ball up in the middle of the field.
Players coming back onto the field. We are, well, Hong Kong, China, just 3 minutes, 44 seconds away from a victory here, having also won the Snow Polo World Cup.
Yes, the home team, very strong. John Paul Clarkin and John Fisher, both members of that winning Snow Polo team. No, they weren't. No, sorry, John Paul Clarkin was here in the Super Nations for them last year, so not it was Kajema Torreira was the man that did the damage. But anyway, in it comes now. This is not Snow Polo, this is the full-size field, and way up the field we go now with Luke Tomlinson backed in there by Joao Ganon. And I think it's gone over the sideline, so that's not what England wanted to see, because we don't get time off for the throw-in. The clock keeps ticking. 3 minutes and 13 seconds left. So the throw-in comes out on the England side, but it's backed in there by Gonzalez, now picked up by Mark Tomlinson. He drives the ball up into the scoring zone. It's going up in front of goal, turned around there by John Paul Clarkin. A near side backhand. Drops the ball on the back line, and, well, the whistle's blown. So if England can get a penalty out of this, it should be close enough for them to put another goal on the board. John Fisher just asking the umpires.
By all indications, it will be a...
Here we go. And that backhand came in there. John Fisher coming through, yeah, and Mark Tomlinson had turned his pony up and was on the nearer to the line of the ball than John Fisher there. So Fisher, in diving into play the ball, has denied him the shot, and so a hit on the spot, I think, but it's only about 30 yards out. A little to the left of centre. Luke Tomlinson comes in to take it. Well, no, they placed it in the centre, so he's put that one through. So they go out to 7 goals now.
Ten, 10-6.
10-6, sorry.
Yeah, 10-6.
But they got that score up very quickly.
Yes. But again, the clock continues to run, and that certainly works in the favor of Hong Kong, China.
Yeah. So England will waste no time. Out of the ruck comes Luke Tomlinson. Takes the ball across the field. Neck shot from here. Just hits up, hits his pony's knee. Backhand by J.P. Clarkin. In come Nacho Gonzalez. His backhand is blocked there by Dirk Gould. So coming in now, it's going to be Joao Ganon. Ganon brings the ball down for Hong Kong, China. Going out to the left of centre, hooked out of the play by Luke Tomlinson. Mark Tomlinson comes in now, turns the ball around onto the new line quickly. No, he wasn't quick enough.
Whistle goes there.
No, he really had no choice there, because if he'd left that ball alone, then it was pretty much going to be a certain goal to Hong Kong, China. Still hangs his head in frustration, disappointment.
Penalty award.
John Fisher.
Again, grin, a big wide grin on his face,
yeah,
with only just under 2 minutes to play.
Remembering that this is, these days, his home club, his home ground, and he has a lot to do with the horses and the management of the grooms and getting these horses, all these horses fit for this. So great credit to him and the whole team, and what a thrill for him to be sitting down in the number 4 position on this team with 1 minute 55 to go and 4 goals up his sleeve, 2 up each sleeve.
So it's like John Paul Clarkin to take this penalty.
I think it's Joao Ganon. So he comes in now. It's a 30-yard free hit, and he strikes it through. So that could be the cork in the bottle, I think, for the England team. Hong Kong, China push it out to 5 goals the difference again, and that would be a goal every 11 seconds. And I haven't ever seen that.
And with the clock running as well.
Yes. Yeah. So, but look, never say die. England, they'll be doing their darndest to at least make this look respectable. And out of the ruck, it's Joao Ganon who hit the goal, comes across the line, and a penalty goes to England. So a chance here. The clock, of course, stops when a penalty is awarded. So we've got 1:24.
The throw in from Steve Evans.
And you see Joao Ganon coming, turning his pony's head across the line of the ball, and
Luke Tomlinson having the right of way there.
He was very quick to jump onto the line that ball travelled as it bounced out of the ruck, so out of the line out.
Looks like it's just a 60 that's being awarded.
Well, it was on halfway, and it certainly wasn't any speed goal, but it's still a big chance.
England with a chance to close the gap further here. 1:24 remaining in the 6th chukker of this final.
So Luke Tomlinson.
Luke, the eldest of the two brothers, yes?
Yes, I think there's about 4 years, maybe 5 years difference between them. He's got to bring all his resources in now because he'd be feeling a bit flat. He knows that probably the game's got out of their reach, but he would love to hit this one, and he does it beautifully. He lofts the ball high in the air, and umpire Shane Boyd down there, the goal umpire, puts the white paddle up. So 11-7 the score. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Well, I've seen 2 goals scored quickly in a minute. But here it goes again from the back. You see Tomlinson comes in, counters in, got the pony going beautifully smoothly for him. There's no way he can stop those ones. That goes high and wide and handsome through the goal. Dirk Gould coming out of the ruck. The whistle blows again. So the clock stops.
We're not seeing a lot of play at the moment.
No. Hong Kong don't want England to get away with anything here, but if they're going to keep handing them penalties, just remember every time they give them a penalty, the clock stops. So this time it wasn't out of the line out, so they weren't into the attacking half. It was actually in the defensive half, so it's a hit on the spot, but it certainly gives England the chance to go down into that attacking half. And it's going to be Nacho Gonzalez. He's a big hitter. And I think probably you'll see Henry Fisher's gone right down into the goal mouth. Away goes Luke Tomlinson. Mark Tomlinson's going to cover him. And the high shot from Nacho Gonzalez is left sitting there. John Fisher has a go at it, so does Joao Ganon. Now John Paul Clarkin coming around the corner. And he'll clear the ball for Hong Kong, China. And so 35 seconds left. He'll just want to hit it up into the attacking half from here. John Fisher plays a backhand. Good play by Hong Kong, China. They're keeping possession of the ball. But no, Mark Tomlinson pinches it back. He'll run the ball down now. And Joao Ganon thought that was going over his head. It didn't, so it popped up in front of him. He plays the backhand out to the boards. Time running down now. John Fisher plays the ball off the boards, just trying to keep it away from the centre of the field. Cuts it back once again. Luke Tomlinson was there. In comes Mark now. Has he got time to bring it up to goal? Runs it into goal. Could this be the final play of the game? John Fisher's there. That is the final play of the game because, well, that goal wouldn't have been scored anyway, but congratulations, Hong Kong, China. A very, very big win here against a team that I think a lot of people may have seen as the favourite with their winning record this year.
Indeed, and you can see the celebration starting to begin. Hong Kong, China 11, England 7, and you can see in the VIP box there, Pan Su Tong, the owner of the Fortune Heights property, Golden Properties, with Dr. Richard Khalil, president of the International Polo Federation, who we will see on the podium presenting the prizes.
Dirk Gould there, the young Australian, who has been brought in as one of the expat members. We have from 3 different countries. Joao Ganon from Brazil, John Paul Clarkin. And as you said, I think there will be little doubt about the MVP, but we won't preempt that. That's for somebody else to decide. And there's the crowd there, the Argentine ambassador. And
the champagne starts to flow in the,
yes.
the Hong Kong China camp. The Hong Kong China team is back on the field, actually. I think they're taking a victory lap.
So, yes, I think. There they are. And all smiles there, playing on this great facility here. And again, part of the...
We'll take a short break and return for the prize presentation ceremony at the Fortune.
Hi Dirk, congratulations for winning for the Hong Kong team. So how do you think about the whole competitions going on?
It was really strong competition, 4 amazing teams, and just amazing to win. Really excited, great bunch of guys to play with, and yeah, just happy to be here and happy to get the win. Lucky, I guess.
And what do you think about your competitors, England? Because they are quite strong team as well.
Yeah, they're a really strong team, really well organised, and you know, just maybe today they didn't get the bounce of the ball, and we got some luck, and you know, it's always just the toss of a coin with these games, you know, and we were lucky to get away with the win. So happy days.
Do you think your strategies come out perfectly? Because you can see that from the competition, you can see many riding off going on, and your competitors try to push you away. So how do you defend yourself?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, our game plan, we just had one of those days where everything went to plan, you know, and so, yeah, it came off, and yeah, happy days. Like I said, just one of those days that was a good day for us. So.
And how do you think about the atmosphere here in Tianjin and the horses in this Polo Cup?
Yeah, atmosphere's great. It's a great feel. It's a great backdrop. It's a great place. Really comfortable in the hotel. Everything absolutely amazing, and yeah, competition really strong. So yeah.
And the polo ponies?
The horses are amazing. A lot of the horses I know the breeding of. They've been bought from Australia originally, and so I felt quite at home on the horses, and was really happy with the horses.
So do you have any tips for the MVP for the Hong Kong team? What do you think about who may have the chance?
It's got to be one of the guys in the middle, John Paul or Joao. They scored some amazing goals, and yeah, I couldn't pick it between those 2, but probably one of those 2.
Once again, congratulations to your team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And there you had Dirk Gould. Dirk Gould playing for the Hong Kong China team, giving credit obviously to the Metropolitan Polo Club for the success of the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. He mentioned the horses, again, all the horses provided by the club. In fact, prepared by one of his teammates, John Fisher. Dirk Gould from Australia, the Hong Kong China team made up of expatriates from Australia, Brazil, New Zealand, and Hong Kong. Your thoughts, Ian? MVP, best playing pony?
Well, look, I think what Dirk said about the ponies, just like to mention that he comes from Murrurundi, New South Wales, which is a great town. But he mentioned the ponies. Look, I don't envy the pony judge, to be honest, because it's very difficult under these circumstances where the ponies are splitting chukkers anyway. You're seeing all the ponies playing fresh. But I know he's an 8-goal player, but what John Paul Clarkin is able to get out of his horses, and I think if it doesn't come out of his string, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, John Paul Clarkin certainly playing the number 3 captaincy position for Hong Kong China, and really stood out throughout the tournament for Hong Kong China. They've been defeating obviously Argentina in a very close match in the semifinals, and indeed coming out on top against England. But you can see some images from the audience. You know, polo power people from around the globe have gathered here for the final. There you've got the team from the city events. We're just going to go to some slow motion action from today's
well, look,
final.
here's John Paul Clarkin, and look, see how he gets this horse. Now it's bounding on him a little bit, but he decides that the ball is still there, so he uses all that length to get the horse out there, so for the next play he's able to get the horse. Well, that wasn't a very good example because he's very good at getting the horse to run quickly, and he's a very tall man. He wraps his legs around them, picks them up and moves them and gets them running flat very quickly. And so, as I said, I'd be surprised if the champion pony doesn't come out of his string, because he can make any horse look pretty good.
And just in slow motion, a montage.
You see now this. See that? Pony's running. John Fisher had a very good game at the back too, I thought. He was very solid in defence. He hardly missed a backhand all day, and he was able to come through the game and jump in and score a couple of, well, certainly one critical goal when he got that near side shot back through the goal, which just put the lead pretty much out of reach of England. And although Dirk mentioned in that interview that probably the bounce of the ball had a bit to do with it, and England were very strong and they played very well, I think John Paul Clarkin, now here you see him, look how he gets a horse set for a near side backhand. And I think he outgeneraled them a bit. I think his tactics were very, very sound. He pushed Dirk Gould out the front because he worked Nacho Gonzalez, was going to mark him and try and negate his very strong forward play, and that told him to go deep. And he sat very deep himself and let John Fisher come up into the game when necessary, and he shut the back door. You see Dirk Gould and Nacho Gonzalez going for the ball there. Nacho not able to pick the shot up. Dirk's pony kicking it forward.
And these players very familiar with one another. In one case, obviously, the brothers, John and Henry Fisher, as well as J.P. Clarkin, having played with the Tomlinsons on many occasions.
Yes. Of course, John Fisher and Henry Fisher know one another's play very well, and they were marking one another pretty much throughout the game. But I think that was one of the points we saw Henry Fisher do some big attacking plays in the, well, this was this one where Luke Tomlinson put it in the air, and John Fisher, in going for the ball, actually took his stick out of the way. So if you weren't watching earlier on, we mentioned that you're not allowed to hook another player's stick above his shoulder. Well, that was about 8 feet above his head.
Yes. Exciting to see the ability of these players to juggle the ball.
And John Fisher wondered why, when he finally got a hit at the ball, he wasn't allowed to go on with it. Here's that man again. Little dribble shot, just flicking the ball onto a position where he gets a decent hit at it. Leaning out, head down. Just enough to not get it out in front of Nacho Gonzalez there. Not give him a shot at the ball.
Good shot there of the Tomlinsons.
Mark. So look, it's a real credit to Hong Kong to be able to beat a team that's in as good form as these guys are. And they really, after that, they got that first goal, but they really weren't in the game from about the second chukker onwards. It was surprising. You and I discussed before the game that we thought it was going to be one of those that went sort of goal for goal up and down the field. But John Paul was out here to win the trophy. And
Indeed. I think England kept it close for, say, the first 2 chukkers, kept it very tight play, but once Hong Kong was able to open up and really, as you said, J.P. Clarkin taking control of or dictating play.
Well, it really is when you play it tight and hard like that, the opportunities to for penalties are much greater, because there's those close plays and people are coming in close on the line. So it's and that turned out, I think, after that first goal off the field, I think the next 4 goals were off penalties. So and Hong Kong, China getting most of that advantage. So we're going to shortly be underway here with the presentations of the awards for the Super Nations Cup 2013.
We've got the teams
now
seated.
The Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup 2013 prize presentation ceremony officially begins. 那现在我们今天带给您的2013富国高银超级国家杯颁奖典礼正式开始。
Held in both languages, Mandarin and in English. we'll stick with her for the English portions of this for our viewers.
欢迎国际马球联合会总裁理查德·卡利先生为大家致辞。To start with, please, let's welcome Dr. Richard Khalil, President of Federation of International Polo, to deliver a speech. Please, 掌声欢迎。
As you may have heard there, this is Dr. Richard Khalil from the USA, currently the current president of the Federation Internationale de Polo.
Thank you very much. This is a great day for all of us. It's been a wonderful tournament. We want to thank the Chinese Equestrian Association, Metropolitan Polo Club, Fortune Heights, Golden Properties, and all of the support staff and people that work so hard to make this a memorable day. We certainly congratulate the winning team, the Hong Kong team. And we certainly want to thank all of the other teams, their support staff, and everyone that contributed to making this a memorable international tournament. We especially would like to thank Chairman Pan for successfully pursuing his vision to establish China as a major player on the global polo scene. Indeed, he has accomplished his task. Thank you.
Again, Richard Khalil giving credit to Pan Sutong, chairman of
Thank
Golden
you,
Properties.
Dr. Khalil. 谢谢卡利先生的精彩的致辞。Now, without further ado, please let me announce the prizes. First, may I invite Mr. Gustavo A. Martino, Ambassador of the Republic of Argentina, to our stage and present the prize for the best pony. 首先，让我们掌声欢迎阿根廷共和国大使古斯塔沃·马蒂诺先生上台，为我们今天的最佳马匹奖颁奖。And the best pony prize goes to Team Hong Kong China's pony, Roxy Chick and groom Mr. Claudio and John. 我们掌声恭喜最佳马匹奖的得主，他是来自中国香港队的马匹
I think he played her in the
以及他
second
的
half
驯
of
马
that
师
second
Claudia
chucker
和
and then
John
brought
一
it back
起。
again in the second half of the fifth. And in both those chuckers, that was
非常
when
可爱的，我
I
们知
think
道
he
在
hit
这
that
场比赛中呢，好
remarkable
的战马也是
angled
赢得
goal
比
in
赛的
the
重要因
fifth.
素，所以我们的
But
今
it
天
was
第
the
一个
second
奖项
chucker when they
也
really
是用来
started
表彰我们的球员朋
to
友
get
们
their
不
act
可或
together
缺的合
and
作
push
伙
that
伴。
lead out. And so he obviously has a great deal of time for this horse himself, because quite often a player will come out on his best pony in the fifth chucker, the one he wants, he thinks can really keep him in the game and push the lead out. And so
And the prize for the best pony,
obviously
the
bring it
horse
back for
rag
the
from
second part of the
Horseware.
fifth chucker. That's how he feels about this horse. So
You can
well
see
done.
the
I wonder where it comes
grooms
from.
there also
Okay, please take a
celebrating
picture
with the
together.
best playing
那
pony.
现场的朋友们，让我们再次把掌声送给我们的最佳马匹 Roxy Chick. Again, one applause for Roxy Chick. And thank
Roxy
you,
Chick,
Mr.
the best
Ambassador.
playing pony
谢
here
谢我们的颁奖
in
嘉
the
宾。
Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. Again, that pony played by
这是我
John
们
Paul
的
Clarkin,
第一个奖
captain
项。
of the Hong Kong China
Coming up
team.
next, may I invite Mr. Fred Zhou, General Manager of Tianjin Golden Metropolitan Polo Club, to our stage and present the medals to our tournament director and horse master. 接下来我们有请天津华亚国际马协会总经理周小军先生上台，为我们的赛事总监和马术大师颁发
It's again a
奖牌。
borrowed horse event. All
Let's
the
welcome
players
our
rely on the
tournament
host
director,
venue.
Mr. Peter Abishganathan, and horse master Mr. Benjamin Araya come our stage. 我们接下来掌声欢迎此次比赛的赛事总监彼得阿里库卡拿登以及马术大师本杰明阿莱亚一同来到台上。
He's a polo
我们在
player,
这
show
儿呢一
jumper,
场比
course
赛，我
designer,
们
very,
选手
very
的重要
active in
发
the
挥之外，
equestrian
同时我
world.
们赛事总监和马术大师
very
对
well
赛事所
respected
做
here.
出的指导也是非
And
常
the
重
horse
要。
master
所以
from
为了感
Argentina,
谢
he's
两位
actually
对本次比
veterinarian
赛
as
所
well,
做出的贡献，
is
也特地
Benjamin
为两位送
Araya.
上礼物。
And
I think he
Benjamin
needs a
is
very
the-
little introduction. really.
well, for those who don't know, he's the youngest person to ever win an Argentine Open. He was 17 years old when he won the was the member of the winning Argentine Open team. So, and he still holds that record. So, not only does he have a great horse pedigree in terms of his veterinary experience, but he's also got a great deal of experience in the preparation and playing of polo ponies.
Not only was he the youngest player ever to win the Argentine Open, he won the Open on 3 occasions.
Yes. Yeah, he, for the, I think it was Santa Ana he played for.
所以接下来的时间，我们要对他们的努力进行表彰。Our umpires and horse stewards also play very important roles to make a tournament a success.
We're introducing the umpires, but credit to the 3 of them that did an exceptional job under really trying circumstances.
Yes, it's tough here on borrowed horses because you do get probably more situations where a horse may not be quite responding to the rider and therefore drifts into a situation to play him on a thing, but they've still got to be tough about it and say, well, that's the rule. And if the horse took you there, you're still in the wrong place.
There you see picture Peter Wright now, Steve Evans accepting his award. The third man, Mr. Daniel Badu.
也是表示对我们的裁判还有赛事官员在本次比赛中所做出的贡献的一份谢意。谢谢各位。
had a very tough call to make in the semi-final between Hong Kong, China, and Argentina.
Yeah, but that's the job. That's John Fisher from Australia, one of the horse stewards.
And Karen Gan, again from Malaysia. Again, well known in Malaysia, based at the Royal Selangor Polo Club.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, not to
Kubla
forget
Ganon,
our commentators.
From Pakistan.
Welcome our commentators, Mr. Jimmy Houston and Mr. Candice Lau. 同时，我们也请出本次比赛中2个非常熟悉的声音，大家一直听到他们的声音，现在终于见到他们2位了。评论员老师，
providing our live
和
commentary
詹
here
姆斯希尔顿先生。
for our guest in
我们也
attendance.
请周总给2位送上礼品。
Jimmy Hilston there.
Our partners in crime,
Okay,
really?
Yes. To step forward to take a group photo, please. 我们请各位一起上前一步。
From Australia.
Step forward to take a photo,
worked and
please.
played in England for quite a while and did a lot of commentary over there as well. But now back resident in Australia.
好，请大家一同合影。
Just
好，
a
现场的朋友
group
们
shot.
也一起把最热烈的掌
Some
声
of
送
the
给我们
important
各位
people
裁判、
behind
赛
the
事官员，
scenes
还有
here
评论员老师，谢谢你们在本次比
this
赛中
tournament.
所做出的贡献，谢谢各位 ，Thank you。
So we'll shortly get on with the team presentations.
Coming up next, we have the prize for the most valuable player. Now may I invite Mr. Tony Piede, Senior Vice President for Asia of Avios, to our stage and present the prize. 首先，我们掌声
And as
请
you
出
heard, Tony
Piede 先生上
Senior
台
Vice。President of Avios.
为我们的获
Avios
奖
was
球员
actually
颁
the
奖。接下
sponsor
来，
of
我
the
们将要为
English
大家
team
公布的是本
here.
次比赛的 MVP 最具价值球员奖。
And,
And the prize
Any bets on who's it's going to be?
I must go with JP Clarkin.
in Hong Kong, China's John Clarkin. Congratulations to John Clarkin.
I think it's no surprise
我
there,
们
JP
恭喜获
Clarkin.
得本次比赛
the
最
most
具
valuable
价值
player,
球
as
员
well
奖
as
得
most
主是来
the
自
best playing
中
pony.
国香港队的球员 John Clarkin, please. 恭喜！今天大家刚刚看完了香港队的比赛，
Yeah, John
最后
Paul
一场比
Clarkin
赛，中国香
is
港队获得了冠
he's
军。
not only a wonderful polo player, he's a terribly nice fellow as well, and he's a great captain, very, very highly regarded and liked throughout the polo community. So most fitting, I think, that
我们送给 MVP 得奖得主的奖品，
come
大
out and
家看
showed
到
us
是
just
Avios 提
why
供的
he's on 8
机
goals
票，
today.
恭喜
Big
，Congratulations
win,
to John.
and
Thank you.
Looks like the champagne will be flowing, all of those bottles being
好，
given
在我
away
们
on
的
the stage.
MVP 宣布之后，接下来的奖项，让我们一起来期待。
You can read
Now
the-
may I invite
read the
Mr.
label,
Stephen
and
Orthwaite,
a great polo
Executive
sponsor in
Committee
Moe.
member of the Federation of International Polo, onto our stage to present the prize for the third runner-up. 那接下来，让我们掌声有请国际马球联合会执
Steve
行委员
Orthwaite,
斯蒂芬·科夫荣先生
who's
上
on the
台，
executive
为我们颁发此
committee,
次比赛的第4名的球队，
great
也就
polo
是
player
现金
himself
的
in his
奖
day.
品。And the
Peter and
prize
Steve
goes to
Orthwaite,
Team Argentina. Let's welcome all the
very
pro
formidable
players from
combination,
Team
and-
Argentina to our
And our
stage.
fourth place
我们
team,
掌声恭喜获得本次
Argentina.
比赛第4名的队伍
Again,
是
they
阿
were
根
the
廷
defending
球队。
champions
恭喜
here at the
也
Super
请阿
Nations
根
Cup.
廷球队的各位队员一同上台
Yeah.
来领取奖品。
made
恭
up
喜各
of
位。
the number 1, Martin Pepper, the number 2, They're being presented by Steve Orthwine.
Congratulations to Team
The number
Argentina.
2
我们
is
也
Mariano
恭喜
Obregon.
阿根廷队获得了本次比赛的第4名。我们也
The
看
number
到了
3,
每一位队
Michel
员的努力。
Dorignac.
阿根廷球队在本次比赛中所做出的
And
精彩
the
的表
number
现。
4,
好，我们
Martin
也再
Donovan.
次把掌声送给阿根廷球队。
Again, unfortunate the Argentine team to lose a nail
恭喜
biter
他们。
against Hong Kong, China in the semi-finals. I'm sure we'll see them back here next year.
Yes, and then they came out in the semi and found a very strong American team who'd sort of sorted their horses out a bit more by
Take a photo
the
together, please. 请各位
auxiliary
同
final
欢迎
yesterday. And
again, just that's our 4th place team from Argentina.
Thank you. Congratulations to our team
So,
Argentina
last year's
again.
winners,
Thank
and,
you, Mr. Ockaway.
came in
Thank
here,
you.
I think,
Please
probably,
remain our stage, please.
considered to be a big chance to do it again, but
Thank
not
you,
their
Mr.
year.
Ockaway. 好，那在我们的第4名揭晓之后，我们马上要和现场的朋友们一起迎接到舞台上来的
This
就是
will be
本次
followed
比赛
by the
第
prize
3名
presentation
晋级
for
的队
the
伍。Now may I
third
invite
place
Mr.
team.
Harvey Lee, Vice Chairman of Golden Group, on our stage to present the prize for the second
Harvey
runner-up.
Lee, an
Please.
integral
我们掌声
part
有
of
请
the
高银
Golden
金融地产
Properties
股
Group
份
and
有
their
限公
charge
司副
into
主
this
席李自
polo
忠先生
round.
上台为我们
He's
的
also
季军队伍
actively
颁
involved
奖。
with the Hong Kong Polo Development
And
and
the
Promotion
prize goes to
Federation.
Team United States of America. Congratulations.
Now
to
the
Team
United States of America coming to stage
Let's
to
welcome all the
receive
polo
their
players
3rd
and the
place
coach of United
awards.
States of America to our stage. 我们恭
got
喜美国队的球员，也有请
number
美国队
1,
的球员
Thomas
和教
Collingwood.
练一同来到舞台上接受领奖。
Again, and number 2, there's
That's actually number 4 there.
Oh, sorry, Ulysses Escapite now collecting his award.
我们给美国队的球员送上奖
Followed
牌
by
以
the
及
captain,
香
Mike
槟，
Gazzaro.
也是表
Again,
彰
Mike
美国队的队员
again
们
was one
在
of my
这次的比
favorites
赛
for
中
MVP,
所做
although
出的努力
unfortunate
和优异
to
的表
lose in
现，
the
这是他们所
that
彰显出的
semi-final.
体育精神。
And Nick Roldan, Nick having been captain of the Westchester Cup team that fell to the UK, as well as they were unfortunate to lose in a golden goal scenario to England here as well.
And Joel Baker, great past player, wonderful administrator of polo and the manager of the team here this year.
Joel still at 2 goals.
Yeah. Well, why do you say still? He's still a very active fellow, and he was a wonderful rider, and I'm sure he will be still riding horses as long as he's got the energy to get up on them.
And there we have it, the 3rd place team from the United States of America.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harvey Lee.
Getting to the business end of our prize presentation.
Thank you. Okay, coming up next, may I invite Mr. Alejandro Taylor, Treasurer of the Executive Committee of the Federation of International Polo, on our stage and present the medal for the first runoff. 那接下来我们请出的是国际马
Alejandro
球
Taylor
联合会
here.
执行委员
Quite a
会
few of
司
the
库
representatives from the
亚洲
International
他将
Polo
为
Federation
本次
here
比
for the
赛的
finals of this
亚军
tournament.
队伍颁奖 and the prize goes to Team England. Congratulations to Team England. 恭喜获得本次比赛的亚军的队伍
as
英
you're
格
watching
兰队。
this afternoon, England in the final, but not able to take it out.
我们也欢迎
And,
来自英格兰队的各位球员，
the number
还有我
one,
们的教练一同
Henry
上台
Fisher.
来恭喜各位。
The number 4, Nacho Gonzalez. Nacho able to play because his mother is
今天我们
English.
大家刚刚看完了最后一场比赛，看到的就是我们英格兰队
Mark
对阵
Tomlinson,
中
the
国
number
香港队
2, and the number 3 in captain Luke Tomlinson, who tried his heart out today. He really
获得了本次比赛的
got to a lot of
亚军
plays, and
表现也是非常的
but
优异，在整场
the
赛事
defence
中
was
的
very good. And the
表现
manager
也
there
是深刻
for the
给大
England
家
team,
留下
Andrew
非常
Hines.
深刻的印象。
So again, our runners-up here.
好，我们赛场
England.
接下来的就是
So,
此次的亚军队伍英格兰队。
George
我们也请
Merrick there,
Please,
the-
may I invite you
who
to
was
take a
the
photo together with
reserve
Mr.
player
Taylor,
for the England
please.
team.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see him in any action.
好，我们也请
No,
英格
it
兰
was,
队员把
Well, you've got a winning Westchester Cup side. You probably don't make any changes unless there's an injury.
So England, the English side, runners up here. The 2013 Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that foursome.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Mr. Patrick Tang, General Manager of Marketing Strategy and Promotion of Golden Real Estate Financial Holdings Limited, to our stage and present the medals for the champion team. 我们接下来有请高银金融地产控股有限公司总经理郑建辉先生上台，为此次的冠军颁奖。有请
Properties Management Team. Again, I think he'll be pleased to be presenting the first place, or the first place trophy to Team Hong Kong, China.
Well, you saw them out there earlier, and this is a very good team. I think this team can take on 24 goals anywhere in the world now. It's balanced. It's got plenty of young guys and the experience of John Paul Clarkin and
Dirk Gould there from Australia. And Joao Ganon from Brazil, representing Hong Kong, China on this occasion. John Paul Clarkin followed soon after. And here's our home player, John Fisher. He's also the Director of Stable Operations here at the Metropolitan Polo Club. And the reserve player, Ramon Castilla. Ramon, obviously born and raised, actually the Argentinian player on that team. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see him, given the strength of the four players. And that was Luis Lelor. Luis Lelor again, who provided expertise, management role with the Hong Kong China team. Luis Lelor also recently appointed to a role with the Hong Kong Polo Development and Promotion Federation.
And one of the people who's responsible for getting the polo side of the organisation, Dennis Lowe, also up there on stage with the team. On the right-hand side.
Of Hong Kong, China, please.
Dr. Richard Khalil back on stage. We're going to be seeing a champagne ceremony. Oh, I think it might be more subdued. I think they may want to drink it themselves in celebration.
This isn't Formula One. These polo players don't get that much champagne.
See there,
look out for Mike Azara.
Super Nations Cup trophy there. Should be handed to the team from Hong Kong, China.
Now, Dr. Khalil, may I invite you to present the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup trophy to the winning team, Hong Kong, China team. 我们下面将请
Little Milo Fisher going up there to congratulate Dad.
But I think you're right. Pictured on the left, you see Mike Azaro. He looks like he's warming up for the real celebration.
We won't preempt anything, but it's a beautiful trophy. It's a traditional design, Chinese design, which is now one of the most coveted trophies in polo. You can see it's a tough one to win.
So Hong Kong, China, champions of the 2013 Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup 24-goal polo here at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin.
In the background behind that, the fireworks and the coloured smoke, you could see some of the villas and the apartments that have been built here right on the polo field, and only a few minutes from downtown Tianjin. And that's the Metropolitan Clubhouse in the background. So as they gather for the team photos and the group photos, we congratulate Golden Hong Kong China team and all the people who've put this tournament together, because it's been a lot of fun. It's been fantastic polo. I think it's a great opportunity for people who haven't seen polo to see people such as Mike Azaro, was on 10 goals, now on 8, but still worth every bit of it. And John Paul Clarkin too, of course, 8 goals. He's only just come up to 8 goals, certainly not on the way down. And Mr. Pansatong there in the centre, who is the man whose dream it was to put this wonderful complex together and provide a facility like this for international polo competition.
As you said, it's a fantastic opportunity for polo players and aficionados in this region to see polo of this standard, players of that ability. You know, at 24 goals, it would certainly be one of the highest handicap tournaments, certainly in Asia, if not the world. I know that obviously those in the United Kingdom, USA, Argentina have an opportunity at times to see perfect polo, being 40 goals, but certainly an opportunity to see these players in China is just fantastic. Fantastic for polo, and fantastic for the future of polo here in China.
And for providing the facilities to put it out on TV now, because it goes out right throughout Asia, and I think on satellite to a number of countries outside of Asia. So it's actually not only just bringing Chinese polo to the rest of the world.
It was only a matter of time, I think you called it, Mike Azzaro. Just a matter of time before the champagne flowed. I think everyone's dashed off the stage to enjoy a quiet drink amongst themselves. And again, John Paul Clarkin, captain of the winning Hong Kong China team, most valuable player, and also the winner of the most, well, his pony indeed, the winner of the best playing pony.
Yeah, he and John Fisher taking a sip out of the Super Nations Cup.
Well, it has certainly been a pleasure to be with you, Ian, here in the box at the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. I know this is your first time here, but it has been a pleasure to join you.
Well, Tori, it's been a lot of fun. And as I said, great to see polo being broadcast out to a lot of other parts of Asia and the world.
And we're leaving you now from the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. Thank you for joining us for the Super Nations Cup, and we look forward to seeing you next year.